Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope on three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Who's ready for spring? Finally feels like it. Finally feels like it. And then it only took until May the 1st for us to actually start getting what feels like maybe a little consistent spring sunshine, spring weather, that cool feel in the morning. Yeah, it's going to warm up and get hot, but hey, at least it's got that warm feeling in the morning. We're having a little bit of a spring right now, and it is so good to enjoy it, at least for the time that we have it. It's a Monday morning here on Halftime. I'm Phil Elson, and I'm excited about these next 3 hours. Matt Jones, Matt Travis, what's happening? What's going on? How are you?
Dude, life is good. I love Monday being with you guys. I took a butt whooping on the golf course this weekend, but we played 36 on Sunday, and sometimes, what is it? You're the windshield, and sometimes you're the bug or something, you know, whatever they say.
So it sounds like you were
had
the
a
bug.
great
Okay.
time. We had a great time. That was a lot of fun, yeah.
We had a great time over the weekend, too. Actually had a chance to like have a day yesterday without a show, without a game, or anything to worry about. Took the kids to see Little Shop of Horrors.
How'd that go?
At the Rep in Little Rock. That was great. That was fun. It's a really good production. And they hadn't seen the movie yet.
Will they watch a movie, or do they kind of fiddle on their phones and stuff? Do they get it?
They want to watch the movie now, but I mean, this was the stage production, so you're either going to put your phone down or you're going to be kicked out.
I got you.
So
yeah.
They had no choice, but now they want to see the movie. Of course, you know they don't want to be. Everybody wants to sing Audrey 2 and the Dentist song, but it was nice to have that sort of a day. And you know, I was kind of walking around yesterday with just a big smile because of a sweep at home for Arkansas baseball.
I listened to you and Bubba a little bit. Me and one of my buddies, we driving out to left the cover. I meant to tell you that, man, and it was y'all were talking about the pitcher hitting the backstop, and we were just later. Bubba goes, if you're going to hit the backstop with your pitch, it doesn't do you any good if you throw it 97. I was like,
I think we referred to it from now on as hitting the bull.
It was good. And then all of a sudden we come back and A&M's coming. They have a chance because they were up 8-0 or 8-3 at one point. And
oh gosh,
yeah.
Matt, Saturday's game was pretty tense, and I had to think to myself, you know, you get out, you're up 8-0 in the 5th inning of that ball game, and knowing the history of the last 2 years that Arkansas and A&M had played, in the last game you just couldn't trust any kind of a lead, and they were crazy games. You know, I'll tell you about how the personality of each day in college baseball is different.
Mm-hmm.
The personality right now for Arkansas in the final game of a weekend series is hold on to the wall by your fingernails. If you have any fingernails left, there's a little feeling of piecing that pitching staff together in the final game of a series with chewing gum, duct tape, glue.
It feels better when you win the first two. I know you've been saying that since the season started with conference season, how they're going to throw 1 and 2. They're trying to win the first game. And so, yeah, and it has to be exciting, though.
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, it was great for – yeah, that's right. By the time you get into the final game and they'd won the series, it's much different than the week before against Georgia where you're trying to salvage a game. But that last game always will sort of kind of – that's the way you go into the week. You know, even if you won the series but you lost the last game – you go into the week with a loss. You'll be happy about the way you performed, but that's the last thing you remember. And to have a lead that went 8-0, then what was it, 8-2, then 8-4, then 8-5, then 8-6, and 8-7 in the 9th inning, and then Parker Coyle closes it down, becoming the 8th different Arkansas pitcher with a save. And by the way, to have 8 different pitchers with a save, I think it's 44 games into the season. That's usually, you don't usually have that many pitchers with a save, even at the end of the year. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. It's kind of, you got these injuries, and we don't know the situation with Dylan Carter. We'll find out later, either today or tomorrow or some point, whether or not he'll be available moving forward. It's the same week you get a Brady Tygart back, and then you might lose one of your top relievers at least for a time period. But a sweep is a sweep, right? And to sweep the last 2 at home and then get swept on the road, it's 3 weekends in a row where you've either swept or been swept. And it's great to see a team bounce back like that. It was, Matt, the thing that happened this weekend was the return of small ball for Arkansas baseball.
I like small ball. I like it when they're getting creative, running the bases, moving runners over. Man, having a little strategery instead of just strikeouts and home runs, man. I like it.
That's exactly what it was. It was strategic. And in order to play small, we would think of small ball, it's bunts, it's hit and runs, it's moving runners up, utilizing the sacrifice, utilizing your outs in ways that a lot of major league teams don't, and truthfully a lot of big-time college teams don't play like that anymore, because it is quite a bit in college ball about the home run and the walk and the strikeout. So, and that's been at times this year kind of a focus for the Arkansas offense, but it can't be right now with injuries to Wagner and Josenberger, and those are 2 of your big boppers in the lineup, and a couple of the other guys might be dealing with some nagging injuries that might affect their hitting. So you get an opportunity for a number 9 batter and John Bolton to have his best week of the year. Bolton has been probably the most criticized Razorback of the entire season. Outside of anybody on the pitching staff, he's hit 9th all year. He's been hitting under the Mendoza line all season and has the unfortunate thing to be the shortstop after Jalen Battles, and I just can't expect to see another shortstop with that kind of range and ability. But Bolton's done very well at shortstop for this Arkansas team. He just hasn't really hit very much. But he was the catalyst to this weekend, Matt. And it's like when your most important hitter in the 7th weekend of the year was the number 9 guy that was hitting under 200, you might think, oh gosh, this team's going nowhere. But no. What he did was he helped lead to a sweep that right now continues to cement Arkansas as a top 8 national seed.
I was wondering how they were going to bounce back, and I know it was kind of a tough week last week, and then what was that Tuesday against SMS, and wasn't able to win that game. And but you gotta love the character of this team. To fight. And when we were listening to the game, listening to you and Bubba do, which y'all do a good job. It's the first game I've listened to y'all this year. When it was 8-0 and we came back to the car and you knew A&M was score, you knew they were going to put some runs together. And you were like, well, how is this Arkansas team going to hold up? And they were able to fight, like you said, scratch and claw to the end.
Well, it was a fun series, and now their next 4 are away from Baum Walker, play the final midweek game tomorrow here in Little Rock at the Travelers Ballpark, and then go to Mississippi State to take on a struggling Bulldogs team. So a lot to get to as far as the baseball team is concerned. NFL draft is over, and was it a surprise to only see 2 Razorbacks go in the draft?
I mean, we weren't that good. It's the Eagles, I thought, crushed it, getting the most talented player on the most talented team.
You mean the Beagles, because they're the Bulldogs and Eagles put
together.
No,
that's who I'd be drafting, Georgia players too.
Yeah.
I was wondering why Hazelwood. I saw that he went to Philly. It's like I don't know where. I don't see any minutes there. It's like why I don't. He's undrafted. He gets to choose where he wants to go. It's like I don't know what. So, but we'll see, man. How it's weird how these unrestricted free agents where you go. I think Drew Sanders is going to be fine. If you're a top 150 pick, the football draft's the best draft, because if you go in the first 3 rounds, you make the team. You're going to play. That's just how my experience in Jackson. And it's not like that in other sports. Baseball, it might take you 5 years to get to the bigs if you're a 3rd round pick.
Second round pick in the NBA is like go into the G League.
That's what. Yeah. So football draft's pretty cool. So if you get drafted in those first 100, 150 picks, you're going to get to play, and they're putting some money in you and invested in you. So I'm excited for the kids that get drafted. And you're not drafted, it's tough. You got to kind of pick and choose your spot and try to fit in somewhere.
Well, you can fit in here for the next near 3 hours on halftime. We have a lot of time for calls and texts up until 2 o'clock. Just a couple of guests on a usual Monday morning / afternoon. We'll have Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South get his views on the draft and maybe some of the players that we'd be looking for next year. Not a mock draft for 2024, but an idea of maybe some of the guys that we'll be talking about in the college football season as the next Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and how many more Georgia Bulldogs may come up in the first round in the next couple of years. Plus, there's a conversation to be had about a couple of the Razorbacks potentially next year being in a position, as long as they're healthy and perform at the level that we've seen them perform before and maybe even improve in a couple of ways, that maybe they could be in the same situation that Ricky and Drew Sanders were, and maybe get drafted a little bit earlier in K.J. Jefferson and Rocket Sanders.
Yeah, I think Rocket Sanders would have got drafted in this draft, Phil. I think anytime you lead the SEC in rushing, and running backs are a different breed. It's a short lifespan you got, so hopefully he'll stay healthy. But yeah, no, he Rocket can play on Sundays, no question about it. KJ needs to get a little work going, but would he get drafted on potential? Probably. Got to get a little more accurate.
So all that and more, and a quick break, and we're going to talk with Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin. So stay with us on Halftime.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Let me give you a broad overview of what's going on with Arkansas football recruiting right now. This class that Sam Pittman and this staff have compiled to this point has the potential to be the greatest class ever at Arkansas since the start of the modern recruiting era.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Now through May 15th, buy 1 gallon of Clark Kensington or Ace Royal paint and get 50% off at your local Yeager's Hardware. Sale includes interior and exterior paint. Limit 2 gallons.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Right now, catfish is something special at Calico County. Whether you like it crispy fried, grilled, or blackened, our catfish is currently available at a special price. They'll cook it the way you like it and serve it with 2 sides and rolls. You can also have their same great fish served on a hoagie roll with slaw and their own remoulade. The Catfish Po' Boy's on special as well. So roll on into Calico County for great catfish at a great price. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue, behind Randall Ford.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey, this is Chad Warner Horner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Take your baby by the hand, make her do a high handstand, and take your baby by the heel, and do the next thing that you feel. We were so in phase, and I dance all days. We were cool on craze. When you and everyone we knew could believe, do, and share in what was true. Oh, I said, dance all days long.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Time to talk with Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin on halftime. Always appreciate Mike's time on these Mondays. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was sick for about 3 days. I got sick Thursday with a kind of a head cold, chest cold, or whatever. Watched all three of those A&M games from home. And, you know, I was able to keep up with it, but I wasn't feeling real good. But I was feeling better after they swept the Aggies. There's nothing better than the best thing for me that you can have is to make A&M think they're going to win a game and let them come just one step from winning, and then you pull it away from them because it happens to them all the time. I've been watching it my whole life, and it's the best thing there is. It's like, we're going to win this. No, you're not.
Well,
it was good.
It happened a couple of times in the series. I mean, A&M fights back from down 5-0 in game one, ties the game, only to see Jace Borfin hit a go-ahead home run of the eighth. Heck, A&M almost took the lead in the eighth inning of that game, if not for Hunter Grimes' throw to home plate, which might be the biggest play in the field by an Arkansas defender all year. And then, of course, Saturday's game was just like hold on to whatever you can to scratch and claw onto the wall, because I had no fingernails left. It was like skin on wall. But it was a great series. But yeah, I mean, there were a couple of really close ones there.
Well, and it's just, once again, the SEC is just nuts this year. Arkansas sweeps Tennessee. Next weekend, Tennessee bounces back, sweeps Vanderbilt, but Arkansas gets swept by Georgia. The next week after that, Arkansas sweeps A&M, but Georgia loses 2 of 3 to Ole Miss, which is the last place team in the West. And this week, Arkansas goes to Mississippi State, which just got swept by Tennessee. So, I mean, you just week to week, game to game, series to series, you don't know what's going to happen. Teams have a hard time handling success. But I think a lot of it is, with a couple of exceptions, I'm not sure that there's a team lower down in either division that could win a series from LSU. But other than that, I think you could pick just about any team, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, somebody like. I think they're capable of stepping up and winning a series when you don't think they could. And I think it's because the league is balanced. There aren't bad teams in this league. And there's a big drop-off after the top four. You know, you got Vanderbilt, LSU, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Florida. But then when you get past that, it drops off a little bit with Kentucky and Tennessee are 11 and 10 each. Arkansas and Florida 14 and 7 each. But, you know, it drops off a little bit, but the teams at the bottom aren't terrible.
The return to small ball is really what stands out. Now, they got to find a way to, you know, hold the pitching staff together while you're building Brady Tygart back. And I think sometime early this week there'll be more of an update on the condition of Dylan Carter's arm because he reported more soreness again. But what really stood out offensively was how, and you know about Dave, you've watched Dave Van Horn manage enough games to know that he's changed his total approach on how you manage a lineup and how you expect to score runs. You know, this is a program in the last few years that really has relied on slugging the ball, home runs, and not put too many outs at risk. But I've been fascinated watching them change in the last two homestands. Tennessee, you won that series because you ran with reckless abandon and Tennessee couldn't hold runners. Not a lot of Arkansas teams in recent years have stolen 8 bases in a weekend. This year's team did. And then utilizing the bunts and getting leadoff guys on base, moving them around, moving the Aggies infielders around. You could tell how frustrated their fielders were. And it just shows, I mean, this team is going to get Josenberger and Wagner back. They're going to hit their home runs, but they can score, they can manufacture, and that makes them really tough.
Yeah, I remember DVH saying in that preseason presser they were going to play more small ball. Man, I didn't see it. I'm thinking, what's he talking about? And then, like you say, all of a sudden, probably out of necessity, here it comes. And it turns out that Bolton, this guy that's batting well below 200 for most of the year, he's a totally different guy when you ask him to bunt. He said that. He said after that game 3, he said, that's what I do. That's my thing. And he's good at it. And he made a huge difference, and it also seemed to help his full swing because he ended up going, I think, 2 for 3 in that game, had maybe a couple RBIs and scored a run. So, you know, it's talked about it, I think, some last week. When you look at Arkansas statistically, you're going, seriously? How are they where they are right now? Because there's just nothing about this team that stands out statistically. But it's DVH's management. And this guy, he's not coach of the year. Somebody's lost their mind because this season could have gone south in a hurry, especially when the injuries started to mount. And it's not just the injuries. You know, when you have McIntyre not what he was, when you have Zach Morris not what he was, you start having these issues. I mean, Stovall's not hitting well right now. So there are some things that have happened, but DVH he's just negotiated all this and kind of it's like running around barriers or jumping over hurdles. He's just making it happen.
Mike, I don't know if you got a chance to check out any of this NBA playoff. Speaking of, pulling the rug out, the Warriors go out there and Steph Curry drops 50 on the Kings in a Game 7 win. And then you got the Heat as an 8 seed having a chance, which I got the Celtics out of the East. I don't know who you have out of the East. That West, Mike, it's the Suns-Nuggets series. That could go either way. Lakers, Warriors, either one of those teams have enough in the tank to win one. I don't know. Who do you like, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Bill and I talked about this 2 or 3 weeks ago. When I get home at the end of the day, I'm so sports out of it that I don't watch much. And I know a guy that knows you really well, or he says he does, Marty Houston. He's been telling me for years, Matt's a basketball guy. He loves basketball. He played football, but basketball is his love. I don't know. You talk a lot of basketball. I'll know this. You know it, and I don't know squat about
All right,
NBA.
well, how about this question then? How about this question? Because we've seen this now in both the NHL and the NBA, Matt. You had the best team in the Western Division in the Eastern Division.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Totally choke.
Mm-hmm.
And
an 8 seed, Jimmy Butler, yeah.
The Bruins had the best regular season in the NHL's history, most wins ever. They just lost the 7th game to the last seeded team, the Florida Panthers.
And
why watch any regular season games, right? In either of these leagues, it's just you're going to set yourself up with all this home field advantage, home ice advantage, home court advantage, and it didn't matter for either of them.
Well, and you look at the Warriors and what Steve Kerr said. Yeah, you get a Game 7 tonight in the Rangers and the Devils, but Steve Kerr, he said that year that they broke the Michael Jordan, the Bulls win record, and then they didn't win it in the finals. It's like, you got to pace yourself a little bit. The regular season sports, you're exactly right. It's just about getting in the tournament and trying to get your matchup.
Mike, I kind of liken it to like you'd win 30 regular season games for a college basketball team and then run through your conference tournament only, to do what happened to Kentucky a couple of years ago.
Well, look, I'm a big believer in playoffs. I am. I don't care what you're talking about. But my big thing is I have hated since I was a little kid the way they do the playoffs in college football. I mean, I go back to the day when it was decided by a bunch of guys at UPI. Does UPI even exist? United Press
Barely.
International?
I think barely.
I don't even think it's a thing. I mean, if it is, and then AP, you got a bunch of media people voting, and that's your national championship. Come on. In high school, you got high school football. They go out there and have a real playoff. Everywhere I know, they have that, and you can't do that. So that they improved it finally. You got the Roy Kramer, and he comes up with the formula, and they have the 2 best teams that are picked by a committee play each other. So it's 1 and 2, and okay, but you're still voting. And then finally you get a 4-team playoff, and everybody's like, oh, we don't need more than that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I want 32 teams. They do it at the lower level. Why can't you do it at the Division I level? So now we get 12, and I like 12, but I'd rather have 16. I'd rather have 32 because, to me, the regular season, everybody says, well, the regular season doesn't mean anything. Well, I don't know. It gets you where you need to go, but I know that I played football for 4 years in high school, never once got to play one playoff game because only one team from a district in Texas went in those days. And if you didn't win your district, you didn't go. And it was just like a kick in the gut. I wanted to be in the playoffs. Everybody should want to be in the playoffs. The playoffs are everything in any sport. So, yeah, the playoffs, that's what it's all about.
Man, I know I love the NBA playoffs and these like you were talking about, Mike. But yeah, all the sports. It wasn't baseball like that too, Phil. Major League Baseball. If you didn't win the pennant, if you didn't win your division, you weren't going. Yeah.
Years ago, it was. It was just like you do this whole season, and you'd be going, what? If you was a Red Sox fan like I was when you're a kid, they never did squat. The Yankees won every year, and you're like, oh man, this is terrible.
Well,
so. When
why,
people
Mike,
talk about the good old days, the good old days were sometimes the bad old days.
But, Mike, there is no pennant race anymore. They say the pennant race starts in September. No, there is no pennant race anymore because chances are if you finish in second place, you made the playoffs anyway. And, yeah, you want to win a division, and I get it. You get a bye if you have the best record in the league in baseball and all of that. But division championships just don't mean what they used to because – it used to mean if you didn't win your division, you didn't make the postseason. That's all you were trying to do. I don't think there are pennant races anymore.
Yeah, and you give maybe there was a tradition with that. But again, the more you can throw in there, the better. Because I will say this too, and people are saying when you get 12 teams in the college football playoff, it's not going to matter because the same 1 or 2 teams are going to win every year. I don't believe that. I've sat and watched my whole life. I've watched the NCAA basketball tournament and all the danged upsets, which you love it. I love the first round and the second round because of all the upsets. You're just sitting there waiting for them to happen. And so I think the same thing happens in football. Maybe not as many, but the more people you put into the playoffs, the more teams, the more unpredictability you got. I hate predictability. I want to see upsets. I love upsets. I love watching a game, even if I don't care about the 2 teams that are involved. If there's an underdog, I want that underdog to win. I just love pulling for an underdog.
What'd you think about where Ricky Stromberg and Drew Sanders went in the draft? I thought that was where I expected Ricky to be third rounder. I expected Sanders to be a second rounder, but I think both of them will get opportunities to play quickly. So I think Sanders first and foremost. What were your opinions of seeing where they went and who they went to?
Yeah, Sanders was a little low, but look, here's the deal with the draft. To me, the draft is not a lot different from recruiting going from high school to college. It's a crapshoot. These guys sit around, they've got all their analysts and expert numbers and stuff. What I notice is every time you advance from one level to the next, you don't know what's going to happen to an athlete. I knew a kid, we played street football in my hometown till junior high. The best two street football players we had in my hometown were out of football in the 7th grade because they didn't make the transition. We had a great junior high quarterback that never made the transition to high school because he lost his job because he didn't make the transition. We had a great running back. Everybody thought he was going to go to college and be a stud, and he was gone after the first semester. You don't know when you make that jump from one, and it's definitely different from college to the NFL, for instance. So they can pick a guy. I mean, you think this guy's a stud, he's going to make it, then all of a sudden he doesn't. Some guy's an undrafted free agent, becomes a great player. All I know is if I'm a guy that wants to play in the NBA, what I'm trying to do is get that first contract after that second contract. If you can reach to your second contract, that's where you're going to make money, and that's where you got a chance of sticking in the NFL. Man, I mean, how many guys are out of the NFL after 2 or 3 years? It happens all the time. It's tough.
It is. I played 4. It's tough to. I mean, it's hard work.
And if you're a guy that can make it 10 years, what's the formula there? I'd like to know what the formula is. I don't think there is one. Well, I don't think you can even predict it.
You get 2 of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Peyton Manning drafted number 1 overall. Tom Brady, what was he drafted? 247 overall. You know, so and Phil, you said this. It's a weird, inexact science. You probably said it in better words than I did, but it's just hard. You just don't know.
So I don't get too worked up about the draft because the draft is confusing to me anyway. It always has been. But recruiting is confusing. Look what we just saw with basketball. You have all these 3 guys, these 3 5-stars come in, and they were okay, but they weren't what the fans thought they were going to be. And now we got 2 more and maybe 3 next year. We'll see how it works out. But it's just when you go from one level to the next, nobody knows how you're going to transition.
Mike, we'll leave it there. Stay away from the pollen. That's what got me last week. So hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm feeling better already, guys.
Good.
Thanks,
good.
Mike.
3 wins by Arkansas baseball in a row also helps me feel better. But I had a little schmutz from the pollen.
Yeah.
Either that or I sniffed up a dust mite from around the bed. You know, you never know.
Does the rain really clear it out a little bit, or does it stir it up a little more?
It hasn't cleared it out around my place. I gotta sweep it all out from the carport. That's the problem. If you don't have a place where the rain hits it, it's still going to gather around in there. It's a whole bunch of yuck. Black cars, yeah, they're not black right now. They're yellow. A whole bunch of yuck. We got room for calls and text, but no yuck. 877-377-6963. So stay with us, and we'll be right back.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 72 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a limit.
Right now, catfish is something special at Calico County. Whether you like it crispy fried, grilled, or blackened, our catfish is currently available at a special price. They'll cook it the way you like it and serve it with 2 sides and rolls. You can also have their same great fish served on a hoagie roll with slaw and their own remoulade. The Catfish Po' Boy's on special as well. So roll on into Calico County for great catfish at a great price. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue, behind Randall Ford.
As basketball season gives way to baseball, the chill of winter is giving way to the warmth of spring. Now is the perfect time to get your AC system ready for the warmer weather with Pasco. A Pasco Pro tune-up ensures your system is clean and ready to help you stay cool this summer and avoid costly repairs or breakdowns. Right now, beat the summer heat and save $30 off your tune-up. Professional people, professional service, Pasco Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Schedule today at GoPasco.com.
Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Happy times are almost here for Booneville. That amazing fast internet from Wave Rural Connect is coming soon. Arkansas Valley Electric members on feeders 1, 3, 5, and 8 will be available to sign up May 8th. These are internet speeds normally reserved for big cities, but available in the Booneville area, along with TV and phone service from a local provider. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Comes through in the pit, and the Redbirds lead this baby 5-4. What'd I tell you, folks? David Eckstein, the man. This could be a crushing blow to the Houston club. Albert Pujols, you talk about a most valuable player. How is that? Woo!
That was the voice of Mike Shannon. I think many of you already knew that, who passed away at age 84 over the weekend. And man, I brought up Dick Groat last week. I mean, Dick Groat was synonymous with Pittsburgh sports for a long, long time, both as a player, a counterpart of Mike Shannon. They played in the 60s together, would have played against each other a whole lot. In fact, they were teammates for a year, because I know Groat also played a year or two with the Cardinals. It would have been the time that Shannon was, I think, the third baseman with St. Louis, and then Groat does like 40 years of Pitt basketball radio. Mike Shannon is synonymous with St. Louis Cardinals baseball. I mean, synonymous. He's up there with, and I can't say this lightly. You can't say anything like this lightly, but Mike Shannon is up there, not at the level of, but not too far away from the Hall of Famers from the Cardinals. Lou Brock, Stan Musial, Pujols, institutions in that city. And so much of it has to do with the fact that the guy won 2 World Series as a player and then goes on a 50-year run as a beloved broadcaster for the St. Louis Cardinals. And so I know there are a lot of heavy hearts, not just in St. Louis, but the Cardinal fan base is all over the country. And we got a lot of them around us here in Arkansas, and a lot of people grew up listening to Mike Shannon work with Jack Buck and then John Rooney for years after that. And I know it's been a couple of years since he left the microphone, and he might have been to the untrained ear a sort of like an acquired taste. But once you acquired that taste, it was like your best friend. It was like a family member that was right there next to you. I enjoyed listening to Mike Shannon, and I'm not even a Cardinals fan.
A lot of people around here are Cardinals fan. One of my first ever game was to a St. Louis Cardinals game, and I think Sugar Ray Lankford might have been playing number 16 out there. Back in the Ozzie Smith was playing. Man, Mark Grace, Ryan. I mean, it's a Cubs card, so yeah, it's a lot of Cardinals fans around here.
Well, just look at like the eras that Shannon was part of. As a player, he played with Stan Musial. He was part of those great Cardinals teams in the 60s with Bob Gibson and with Carlton and with Joe Torre and Flood and Brock and all of those great players. And I know I'm forgetting some of them. Tim McCarver. I mean, McCarver just passed away a few months ago, so these guys were teammates and knew each other very well. And then to go into the broadcast booth in an era, and really like the 70s were a bit of a forgotten era of the Cardinals for very good reason. They were not the Cardinals that we think of from the 60s or the 80s or the 90s or even the past 23 years. They didn't make the playoffs once in the 1970s. That's when he joined them. And then, I mean, they become one of the dominant National League teams in the 80s and get that great, fun, small ball way to play.
Willie McGee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vince Coleman and Terry
Vince
Pendleton
Coleman.
and
Yep.
Ozzie Smith and all of that. He's there for the 82 World Championship. He's there for the heartbreak of the 1985 World Series, coming close in 87, losing to the Minnesota Twins. And then all those years after that without a world championship, but you still had some pretty good teams. The Tony La Russa era when it started in the 90s, and when Big Mac went on that home run tear,
99,
and then when
or
Pujols,
98, yeah.
and then when Pujols comes up, I mean, it's like he was around for every one of these incredible great. It's not moments; they're eras. Like Stan Musial was an era of Cardinal baseball. Lou Brock, Bob Gibson were an era of Cardinal baseball. It's the same with Ozzie Smith and Whitey Herzog's teams. That was a whole separate era. And then the Tony La Russa, Big Mac thing kind of stands upon itself. And then the Pujols era, and then everything after. I mean, it's sad. I mean, but it's human life. It just when you're someone like Mike Shannon and you are synonymous with the city of St. Louis and you are a radio broadcaster, you are beloved because you're not just like when you're somebody on television. It's a little bit different than when you're someone on radio and he's just in your ear all the time talking to you, and it almost feels like a part of your own, like your own countenance. And I know a lot of people from St. Louis, and they loved Mike Shannon while also appreciating that he might not have been for everybody. but he had a unique style. Nobody ever broadcast a game like Shannon. Details be damned sometimes, but it didn't matter because if you listened to him enough, you could see exactly what was happening based upon his voice. And he was a Cardinal fan on the air. And I know he goes to his grave probably saying he was a Cardinal fan. And it's just I love seeing the people's memories about it. So it's radio. We got a lot of Cardinal fans that are listening here. What are your memories of Mike Shannon? We'll take calls and texts at 877-377-6963. It's the same way that I viewed the guys that I grew up with. Matt, Mike Lang, the Penguins play-by-play announcer, Myron Cope, who did the Steelers color for years and years, and Bill Hillgrove, who we've had on this show before. I mean, they're like family members.
It's like Paul Eels, growing up in Arkansas
right.
with yeah.
And like Chuck for a lot
absolutely.
of people.
Chuck's the man. Yeah,
that's right. So it's sad, but I love reading people's memories and hearing your memories and the moments that you remember when you were sitting in your car with your father or your mother or your significant other or your son or your daughter, and there's a moment that you heard that you'll never forget, and it's that man's voice. It was that man's voice. All right, I know we got a caller on hold, so I want to take his call after the break, and we'll get to that in a moment. 877-377-6963. It's a beautiful Monday, and halftime will be right back.
This is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Has your wife started talking about having a hot girl summer? Does she keep adding hashtag YOLO to her social media posts? Is she spending more time with her new trainer than with you? It might be time to discuss what a divorce would mean for you and your family. Mock Legal Solutions is here to help. We offer flat fees and payment plans. Don't let hot girl summer sneak up on you. Call us today for a free consultation. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
They trap you and they use you before you even know. But love is blind and you're far too kind. Don't ever let it show. I wish that I knew what I know now. When I was younger, I wish that I knew what I know now. When I was stronger, the can fights a pretty show.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's go to the phones. Wade held through the break. Morning, Wade. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Guys, how y'all doing this morning?
Great. Sun's out.
What's up, Wade?
Hogs won 3 in a row.
Hey.
Happy.
Well, you were talking about Mike Shannon a while ago. Yeah, I'm saddened, very saddened. But my favorite announcers of all time, I love to listen to the radio on ball games, and if it's not on TV. And my favorite was Jack Buck, Mike Shannon, no question about that. And Vin Scully of the Dodgers, I listened to him when I was in California. One of my other favorite ones was Lon Simmons with the San Francisco Giants, and he was really a colorful guy and really good. And you too, Phil. You and Bubba. I appreciate you guys on the Razorbacks.
Thanks very much for that, Wade. I appreciate that. We had fun this last weekend. Even in a moment where I had a moment like Bubba, I refuse to use anything but pencil in my scorebook. Bubba's only a pen guy. His pen ran out of ink. He didn't have another one with him.
Oh.
But I didn't have enough pencil lead to donate over to him, so I couldn't go in that direction. I could have had a lot of fun with that guy if I could have done that. Let's go to TC in Dallas. Hi, TC. How are you?
I'm good, boys. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
You know, the Mike Shannon thing, it really brings back a lot of vivid memories for me as a kid growing up in Northeast Arkansas, because that's heavy-duty Cardinal country over there. And a couple of really bright spots that lit up for me was just thinking about, like, coming home from a date and my dad would always be sitting on, we had a screened-in front porch, and he'd be sitting out there listening to the Cardinals and drinking a Coke and having a cigarette. And I would sit down out there with him and listen to the game until the very end. And some of those West Coast games that ran long, I can remember one really well that was a 15-inning game. The Cardinals won it. And I don't remember how late we sat up, but it might have been 2 o'clock in the morning. And Shannon would get, he'd get a little loopy in the late innings. And if you didn't listen to the Cardinals, and there are probably a lot of folks out there to remember this, but somebody get on base, or they'd steal a base, or score a run, and he would say, this is cause for another ice cold Busch beer, and you'd hear him pop the top. And
that's some old school
never
stuff
forget
there,
that.
TC. It's
that's
like
cool.
Yeah. I don't know if he smoked, but
cool.
it sounded like he did. It's like you could hear each individual cigarette,
Oh,
the
yeah.
graveliness of that voice.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you'd hear him in the 8th inning. If there's like a go-ahead home run, and he'd give you that "get up, baby, get up," but you could hear, you could tell how much he loved that team.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I started working in a little country grocery store when I was 12 years old, and I worked weekends in there, and then all the time in the summer until I came up here to Fayetteville to go to school. And there was the beat-up old radio behind the meat counter, and farmers came in, and they wouldn't leave if the Cardinal game was close. You'd get a crowd in there listening to the thing. And if that radio was on, it was on KLCN, and it was broadcasting Cardinal games.
That's right. Well, those are the memories. You never forget stuff like that, and you don't even know why you remember it, but it's the impression that someone has on your brain when you're just listening to them. And I don't think there was anyone quite like Mike Shannon. And I'm not even a Cardinals fan. I don't like the Cardinals, but I loved listening to them. It was always entertaining, and it was always old school with Mike Shannon. We're going to get into hour number 2 of Halftime right after this.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
ESPN Arkansas weather. For today, some really nice weather to enjoy. We're gently going to warm the temperatures up over the next couple of days. Sunny skies are high in the mid to upper 60s this afternoon. Tonight, mainly clear. An overnight low near 40 north, upper 40 south. And temperatures in the upper 60s north on Tuesday, mid 70s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
I hate everything you just said.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, your
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2 of Halftime here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com involves no guests, just you and us. Conor O'Gara comes up at 1:15. So if you want to get on with us, calls and texts at 877-377-6963. A lot of people sending in some baseball questions, Mike Shannon memories. Bob in Hinesville remembers that Mike would spell the names of players so you could write them in your scorecard properly. Now, I'll do that with some of the weird names, but not all of them. But I remember he would do that, and I would appreciate it too. I never actually. There's only once or twice I've scored a game off of the radio broadcast, and that's because I was sick and wasn't at the game I was supposed to be calling. And I wonder how many people actually still do that. But Mike Shannon would have made sure that you spelled the names correctly. Text out of the 405 reminds us that Pujols, Molina, and Shannon,
Yadier, oh my, he was, oof.
all finally retired from the Cardinals in the past year. That's right. That's exactly right.
He was filthy, though. I love some Yadier Molina.
Oh, he was fun to watch catch, that's for sure. He played with a lot of emotion.
Filthy, yeah.
Be interesting 5 years from now when the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame debate's already begun about him, but it'll really come to a head in about 5 years. Eric in Fayetteville texted that he got to meet Jack Buck and Shannon and got a chance and grew up listening to him. So I'm sure that was a really cool moment to meet the two of them maybe at the same time, because those two voices were really the soundtrack of the summer, not just in St. Louis, but I think for a lot of people all across the Midwest, it was exactly the soundtrack of their youth. All right, hey, Matt, so when you were drafted, you got a call, cell phone. You had a cell phone then, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about your landline. How many times did that thing ring?
Well, you had, for the draft, Phil, the day of the draft or the day before the draft, San Francisco called, Cleveland called, Chicago called. They all kind of call and says, is this your number? Somebody, whoever their regional scout was, they would call you and try to, just to make sure they had your number. Yeah.
No, I don't. I usually keep my cell phone on silent, but
absolutely.
on vibrate.
Yes. Yeah, nobody should ever have your cell phone ringer on. That should be like a thing that if we have to get into that later, there's no reason that your cell phone ring should be going off. It should be on vibrate. You're right.
Yeah, I hate notifications. Mm-hmm. I'll get the text notifications, the phone call notifications, but that's it. I hate every other notification. And I don't want to hear a sound from that phone unless it's just vibrating on the desk. That's it. That's absolutely it. But I won't miss many calls.
Yeah.
The thing's usually right there.
It's attached to the hip, yeah.
I wonder what happened with Ricky Stromberg's phone. This is straight off of the Washington Commanders Twitter feed. This is Ron Rivera and the Washington front office trying to get a hold of Ricky Stromberg to let him know he's about to be their third-round pick.
The person you're calling isn't accepting message.
A few minutes later.
Hello there. Is Ricky Stromberg there, please?
No, this is Patrick.
Wrong number. Okay, thank you. All right, that's not the right number.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Is this Ricky Stromberg? This is Coach Rivera. How you doing? Yeah, so how's it been going?
It's been going good.
Yeah, you ready?
Just been hanging out with family.
All right, well, you ready to be a Washington Commander?
Yes.
All right, just want you to know, we're going to pick you with our pick right here, okay?
That sounds good. Let's go.
Right on, kiddo. Listen, we're going to let you go. You celebrate with the family, and then what we're going to do is we're going to announce your name on TV, and you're going to be a Washington Commander, all right?
Let's go. Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right, hey, that's what happens when you have lunch with the head coach.
I know. It was worth it.
All right, kiddo. Well, good. Well, we'll talk to you afterwards. That way you can celebrate with your family when they mention your name, okay?
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Ricky Stromberg.
Had the wrong phone number.
That's good. Yeah.
Coach Rivera doesn't say, hey, keep the same phone number, please, because we're going to put this one in the company phone.
We're going to get you a Washington Redskin phone number. You're going to have whatever those 3 area code digits are at.
Was Ricky Stromberg at Aaron Rodgers' house in Wisconsin? Is that what was going on?
You know, it's stressful, man. It really is a stressful time, and not knowing where you're going, and it's good for him, man. That's cool. It's a moment he'll never forget, and I wish him all the success.
So what happens if he doesn't answer the phone? What if
you
that's
remember
the
when
case?
Minnesota, when they just let the time run out and didn't pick somebody? I think they still pick him. I think they made up their mind to pick him. It's just a courtesy. It's, man, you want everything good. You know, you call the player to tell him, hey, man, we're going to draft you. So, blah, blah. I think they still would have picked him. They wouldn't have been able to have that conversation. Yeah, I don't know.
Once you get on the team, do they still call you kiddo?
Oh, your first year, they call you everything but your name.
Is that that's the last time anybody's going to call him kiddo, right? Was on that phone call.
I don't think they know your name until you make a play. That's just how – it's just you got to get the respect, and that's just how I think it is in all that profession.
So I wonder if that's Coach Rivera's go-to term for someone that he's either can't remember that guy's name, or that's the go-to term for rookie. Because I remember there was the year I interned for the Pirates, 1996. Cam Bonifay was the team's general manager. Really nice guy, was very friendly. He just couldn't remember my name because I'm just some little piddly, media relations intern that's usually in the copy room fixing paper.
You haven't made a
jams.
play yet. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, all I did was drop the stats off on his desk every day. That's what he knew me as, the kid who couldn't put together a shirt and tie combination that matched. So he didn't know my name. Chief. I was Chief. Every single day I was Chief.
I like it. Slick.
I don't know if you can go with
Sport.
Chief, though.
What's up, Sport?
Sport works. A guy.
Hey,
Guy
Guy.
is always my favorite. There's a guy that works. There's a guy who works on the Razorback Sports Network who calls everybody else Guy. Even in emails. Hey, Guy.
I actually had to ask. I had to ask Phil about. It's like this guy being passive aggressive towards me, and he's like, no, he says he does that on all his emails.
No, if he calls you kiddo in the next
then
email,
we got a problem.
And there's a problem happening here. Yeah, but I was like, there was a friend of mine whose dad knew my name because he coached me in Little League. We grew up together, but he called everybody Guy, even if you knew your name.
Hey there, fella.
Randy, you really? Yeah. Kiddo, fella. Chief, dude.
Chief. That was the first call. What was that on Xbox? Was it Call of Duty or it was? That's what they were. It was Master Chief. Yeah.
Oh, that was Halo.
Halo, the very first game that started that.
Oh, I didn't know you were on Xbox.
I wasn't, but in the dorm room, I went on.
Somebody
had an Xbox. Yeah, I'm a PlayStation guy. You got a PS5 yet? Anybody got a PS5?
I'm still PS4.
Does your kid? Does he? Are your kid
I think I must be on the
Xbox, aren't you?
Yeah, I must be on the other side.
Okay,
of you guys because we've got the Xbox.
Fair enough.
I don't call that thing anything. I just call it the machine.
Call it Nelson.
I just call it off. I just call it. I gotta get the kid his own monitor inside his own bedroom so that I don't have to put it on the big screen. That's what I call it. Stan in Glenwood wants to know who my heroes in radio are. It's the guy. I think it would have been the guys that I mentioned earlier that did. They were one of the ones that you grew up listening to in Pittsburgh. Those were mine. It would have been Mike Lang, the voice of the Penguins, It would have been Lanny Fratteri, the voice of the Pirates, Bill Hillgrove, who did Pitt games and Steelers games, still does them, Myron Cope, all of them. And then nationally, like John Miller. I've always loved John Miller. Listening to Giants games, even now, he's so good. And, of course, Vin Scully, too. So B.E. in Clarksville was Hey You for 7 years. That sounds like a boss talking to an underling. Hey you.
The most common one is whatever number you are. 36. Hey, 5'7". Hey, 12. Get over here. Yeah.
Now that reminds me. So you'll hear kids at baseball parks shout the number because the guy doesn't have his last name on the back of his jersey, right? Nobody wants to be shouted at. Hey, 7. Hey, 23. No, you got to know the name. Otherwise, you're usually not going to turn around and come give you an autograph.
Right.
You got to know a name. I got a name here. It's Jordan, who's called us in Branson. Hey, guy, you're on halftime. What's up?
Phil, hey, I got to get in on this conversation real quick. So my wife gives me a hard time. Something that kind of grinds my gear here is being called Bud. I don't know how y'all feel about that. So when somebody like younger than me calls me Bud, am I out of line, or is that kind of gets me sometimes?
Just call him whippersnapper and see how he responds to that.
Hey there, young fella. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, "Hey, Bud, how you doing?" I don't know. It's kind of it seems like sometimes there's guys that
I know some people that use the term bup instead of bud. And I was like,
yeah.
Bup. I was like, I don't think you like me when you say that.
Like Bubs. Like, yeah, hey, Bubs. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it's kind of a power move. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
Yeah, depending on the tone, you never know. Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes it depends on the adjective that's thrown in front of the noun. If the word "little" is thrown in there, yeah, they're being condescending. Hey, little fella. Hey there, little guy.
There we go.
I've seen that before. Yeah, they're not being nice.
Appreciate it, guys. Hey, love the show, and yeah, thank you. Thanks for what you do.
Okay, Jordan. I will get his name done properly here. Thank you for calling. And now Charlie's up. Now, what do I call Charlie? Because he likes to refer to himself in the third person.
He's made a play. He's Tuna. Yeah, he's.
We'll just call him Tuna because he's got a real nickname, which means I don't have to remember his name. What's up, Tuna? How are you?
What's up, guys? Phil, actually, when somebody would call me by my number, if I was playing, and more so in basketball because the fans are right there. So, in football, people can be shouting and screaming at you from behind, and you try not to pay too much attention. But in basketball, they're right there. And so, hey, 33, you suck. And so my idea is I'm coming out next possession. I'm trying to bust somebody from 3. That's just my idea. Hey, 33, you're a flopper or whatever if I try to take a charge or something like that. Because I always wore 33 when I played basketball. I was a huge Larry Bird fan. So, hey, 33, it kind of just gave me motivation. Now, if it was a girl chirping at me or something, that's a little different. Maybe I use that as motivation too.
Parents of any age kid will appreciate the idea that when you have the birthday party and you invite a whole bunch of kids that are just from their school and you've never seen any of them before, you don't know their names. So it's a whole bunch of, hey, you look like somebody else, but I'm just going to keep referring to you as you. And you won't ever get the kid's name right anyway. It's just 24 hey yous.
Yeah, just go with you. I feel that. Matt, but Phil, I was proud of the team this weekend, the way they kind of responded. And big series win. I know A&M had been hot. So I think it was just, we're still down a few guys and just a big series win. Nice job responding. And, Matt, I think we're going to let you slide on the shoe thing, man, because you doubled down. So
got to double down, man.
You did double down. That's right.
Yeah.
Smart call.
And they even threw your sweep for you. So
that was big time.
Guess, and also, Phil, your Pirates are still doing well. I know you called them out the other day because they had a loss in there, but I tell you what, they're still winning some games here. So I'm rooting for them. I said they're going to make the playoffs, and I'll eat a shit if they don't. And, Matt, I know that was special yesterday, what you saw from Steph, and I didn't expect it to happen in Game 7 the way it did, for them to get their butts kicked on their home floor in Game 6. But this Lakers-Warriors series, man, I'm excited for it. I
all these playoffs, man. Celtics, Sixers, Suns, Nuggets. I'm with you.
I love it.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of basketball season.
I just wish I just wish darn Joel Embiid could stay healthy for one of these darn important series because he's hurt again, and it's every year with him with that. But if he was healthy, I think that series would be better. But anyway, I'm excited, guys. Anyways, I'll hang up and listen. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, I got.
All right, bud.
Hey there, guy. I got the Celtics over the Sixers. Yeah, I think the Celtics are going to represent the Eastern Conference. Jimmy buckets. They'll get. I think they'll get past the Knicks, but I don't see anybody. I think the Celtics are going to be in the East. Now that West, I don't know. I Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and the Suns, and then Jokic out there in the. I don't know which way it's going to go. It's going to be fun to watch.
What about the old guys series?
The old men, they're going to put up a battle, but the Suns, Nuggets, I think either one of those teams are going to get past either the Lakers or the Warriors if they're all healthy.
Because the two series that they won, the Lakers and the Warriors, those were series where they could walk away from the court and just being, hey, nice series, little guy.
Yep.
Dylan Brooks, that's the little guy right there.
Dylan Brooks is an unrestricted free agent. Who wants him? They stopped. They pulled the Caitlin. They didn't even go guard him a lot of times, and he was missing shots. Like they were in. He tried to do it, but they were in his head.
And he didn't want to talk about it afterwards, did he?
Oh, what a fugazi.
I wouldn't either. All right, quick break. Got room for calls and texts coming up as well. 877-377-6963. Don't forget, when you're out on the lakes right now, have the Booyah Mobster with you. It's the hottest swimming jig that's going, designed by Muddy Water Mob. Locally in Arkansas and Oklahoma, been winning tournaments on Lake Dardanelle and Kerr Lake like clockwork. So if you fish submerged or matted grass, have the Booyah Mobster with you, and it'll reel them in. You'll find it at learnnet.com and tackle stores all over the region. The Booyah Mobster. More halftime after a quick break.
Got them stars on your heels and nothing else can matter now, girl. Rosy on the cheek.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast presented by White Curd Realtors, the Griffin Company.
Dudley joins me on the line right now. Dudley, I'm just going to tell you right up front, I'm fighting the feeling of doom. I admit I'm spoiled, and you're spoiled, and all Cardinal fans are spoiled. My sense is that the season may already be lost.
We're not even being competitive in some games.
Subscribe to the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Davis Floor Covering. Are you ready to update your home or office and get it looking its best? Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, tile, stone, or luxury vinyl plank, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs. With the best brands such as Bella Sarah Hardwood and JP Mathis Vinyl Plank Flooring. And we even do countertops, so come on in and let's get started. Davis Floor Covering, 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Or call us, 479-452-4808.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. you can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Everybody's life is a journey, their own personal adventure, where every direction has a new trail to explore. Sometimes a little rough, sometimes a little muddy, but always exciting. So no matter which way you go, know this: that trail you're on is far too short to compromise.
Your next adventure starts at autofindersok.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was carried away. I was carried away. I was moving too fast on impossible tracks. I was carried away. I was easily led because I'm easily led by the moon, by the tide, by whatever you like. I'm just so easily led.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We've got a caller on hold. Take that in a moment because I wanted to play for you the sound of utter disappointment from a radio broadcaster. Remember Jack Edwards used to do ESPN Sports Center? He's been the radio voice of the Boston Bruins for a long time now. I think he's going on 20 years doing Bruins games. Well, this was his call of the Game 7 loser for Boston, and it doesn't really sound like a regular radio call, does it?
On him. Verhaeghe wins the series for Florida, and this joyride ends in a Hindenburg-like ending. The Bruins are the second record-setting team in a row to drop the series in the first round.
Yeah, you could hear the heartbreak in his voice, but he wasn't even really quite sure what to say because you just wouldn't expect something like that to happen. It would be like it's not like Arkansas in the 2021 baseball season where they lost in the Super Regional. No, that would be like losing in the regional after being the number one team all year long, losing in the first round of the playoffs. But that was a kind of a weird-sounding call just because of this, I think, of the shock in Edwards' voice. All right, we got Cecil with us here. What's up, Cecil? Thanks for your call. How are you?
What's up, fellas? I was running late, walked through the door, popped my radio on. Matt, you was talking about, the NBA and stuff. I'm like, well, let me get my opinion in.
Let me hear what you got.
Okay. Well, of course, the great Lakers, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a professional, but I keep up with the game. I played it, and I actually played basketball. Football was my definitely sport. That was my sport. But the Lakers they do have the best record since the midseason trade. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. They have the best defense. They're long and they score, and they're gonna win the championship, man.
I like it.
Now, hey, Lakers in 6 against the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers in 6, and y'all ain't gonna believe this, but New York's going to the finals this year. New York will make it to the finals.
Man, I
Do you believe that, man?
I got New York getting beat by the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. I think,
Hey.
but I, you know what? I would not be if that series went the other way. But Jason Tatum, to me, man, is special. He could be a league MVP there in Boston land. So I
Well,
think
he
the Celtics
could
are
be.
tough. Yeah.
He could be, but the thing about Jason Tatum, I lost money with him last year, man. He's got to prove that to me. I'm buying his potato chips and everything, man. I stopped buying the chips, man. I stopped buying the chips. Hey, but Jimmy Butler, he got Michael Jordan jeans. Y'all check up on that.
He's a
but
dog,
yeah,
man. He got
good.
that dog in him.
He got that dog in him. But anyway, I'm going to hang up and y'all have a blessed day.
All right, Cecil, appreciate hearing from you.
He got the Knicks go representing the East, and the Knicks-Lakers, how iconic. That'd be pretty cool, huh?
I mean, has that even happened? Did that happen one time in my lifetime?
Yeah, I mean, Phil Jackson. He played for the Knicks, coached the Lakers. Pat Riley. I don't know if he played there though, but yeah.
I think he played. No, he played with the Lakers.
I know he's a coach of the '80s, but yeah, it'd be. I think the Celtics are too tough, Phil. The Celtics in the East, and then if Joel Embiid was healthy with Philadelphia, James Harden's just as good a scorer as anybody. But if they don't have Joel Embiid, I just think it'd be tough for him.
Well, I have no idea who's going to come out of either conference. I just remember feeling like the Lakers were dead and buried, and there was talk that LeBron wasn't even going to try to finish the season because why would you just try to make it through the play-in, and now look where they are.
LeBron's so good, and he can change up his game to suit whatever's going on. The thing that they're going to go, and this is what I believe with the Lakers, it's Anthony Davis. It's how is he going to be that dude? He was if you remember when Calipari, he was a freshman when Kentucky won a national. I mean the unibrow. I mean that dude is the real deal. Russell's shooting it all right. Reeves is his thing, but I think they're going to go how Anthony Davis goes.
877-377-6963 if you want to touch on the NBA playoffs or whatever a coach or an older person used to refer to you as. Don in Fayetteville calls people slick. This is what he calls people himself. Are you okay if somebody calls you slick? Because sometimes I think if you're called slick, you might think, hey, you don't trust me. You think I'm a little slimy or something, you know?
Yeah.
You think I always got like a different angle on something just for my own purposes. Do you have another name that you might call somebody, Don? Or is it always slick? Wesson Seagrave says he had a coach that called everybody Buck.
Buckaroo, Buck. Yeah, okay.
We fall in these habits, and maybe you don't even realize that you refer to somebody in the exact same way.
Yeah, maybe he was called Buckaroo when he was younger, and that's just kind of stuck in his,
Well, we only got onto this because Ron Rivera couldn't get a hold of Ricky Stromberg, and when he finally did, he called him Kiddo. So I don't remember how many draft choices the Commanders had. How many of those phone calls would you think involved the term kiddo?
I mean, we are grown kids. Don't let this beard fool you. I'm still a child, Phil. Yeah, I don't know.
Here's one that a kid would get called Squirt. Nobody wants to be called Squirt. That would be bad. Rod says, don't call me Sport.
Sporto.
No, don't ever call me Sport. Yeah, Sporto. That makes me think of Breakfast Club.
Partner. What's up, partner? Pods. Yeah, no.
Trying to think of like a term that anybody in baseball will get called. Meat. I like meat. Now I don't remember anybody. Of course, when Bull
Tim
Durham,
Robbins, yeah.
When Bull Durham was released, I was 10, and I didn't see that movie until I was maybe 14 or 15.
In the locker room in high school, Phil, people would they would quote that movie. Yeah.
They called you meat.
Not me. I'm saying that there was another guy that they had, maybe not for the same reasons as Tim Robbins, but yeah.
Why does he always call me meat? That's he could never quite figure it out, but it worked for him. But that's an older person calling a younger person something. Meat. See you at the yard, meat. Put that in the bottom of my my emails for the last 35 years.
Call you bugs. Is that if you got the big glasses on or something, bug eyes, call you bugs?
Hadn't been called. Well, that might be that's true. That'd be for somebody that's got some
spectacles.
That's got the spectacles. There's a baseball coach at Rich Mountain. I think he's the head coach, Rich Thompson. He's Australian and was a Travelers pitcher, and everybody called him Chopper because he had I like it. He had a set of teeth. You know what I mean?
Bobby Chompers.
He had a set of teeth that always stood out. But nobody ever refers to someone else as just Chopper. Hey, Chopper. That was just the guy's nickname. Chief. Yeah, don't call me Chief. I didn't want to be called Chief, but when the actual guy that ran the team called me Chief, I got a little bit of a kick out of it. Just a little. It was like, we're going reverse nicknames here. Can I call you Kiddo then, Chief?
Unless you're Robert Parrish, because he's the big chief.
Yes, he was and still is.
He still is the big chief. You're right.
That is exactly right. 877-377-6963 if you want to get in on this conversation. I got a lot of other baseball thoughts of Arkansas baseball. Arkansas's worst hitter of the year turned into their most important hitter of the weekend. And we'll get into that in just a moment, so stay with us on Halftime.
Once my lover, now my friend. What a cruel thing to pretend. What a cunning way to condescend. Once my lover, and now my friend.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move, and look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What does a food truck chef in L.A.,
order up,
a hip-hop producer from St. Louis,
check 1 2,
and the king of the pickup courts in Philly have in common? They share the same grit, resilience, and passion for what they do. Because the people who share the same spirit share the same beer. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
As basketball season gives way to baseball, the chill of winter is giving way to the warmth of spring. Now is the perfect time to get your AC system ready for the warmer weather with Pasco. A Pasco Pro tune-up ensures your system is clean and ready to help you stay cool this summer and avoid costly repairs or breakdowns. Right now, beat the summer heat and save $30 off your tune-up. Professional people, professional service, Pasco Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Schedule today at gopasco.com.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You block out the outside noise by deleting Twitter. That's what you do.
That's John Bolton, Arkansas shortstop. Which and I spend a little time on Twitter every day. Heck, I spend more than a little time on Twitter every day. And I can agree with his idea here. Just play it one more time because it's just a 3-second audio clip.
You block out the outside noise by deleting Twitter. That's what you do.
Good idea, John Bolton. I think.
Do they have a ghost mode, Phil, on Twitter where you can just kind of stop it? Is that Elon Musk maybe do something like, just be like, hey man, we want to stop it for a little bit.
I think
you can keep your account
for 30 days. I think you can do it, and then after 30 days, it's deleted.
Oh, okay.
I may be incorrect, but I think that's
because I was saying. So if you want to keep your account, or if you want to be able to peruse without, I don't know, but maybe there is a ghost mode.
You just delete the thing off your phone, and then whenever you want to
bring it back. So you still have an account, but you're not going to get the notifications.
Oh, okay.
And you won't have to obsessively check it every 5 seconds.
I don't think he deleted his account. He just wiped the app off his phone for the time being.
Smart.
Because if you were to go on there and search John Bolton, Arkansas, there just wouldn't be a lot nice said.
I like it's like they say album mode when one of your philosophers is going into the studio. It's like album mode. Don't at me. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, chief mode, guy mode, kiddo mode, whatever it was, John Bolton mode. But he was the most important hitter in this Arkansas lineup over the 3-game sweep of Texas A&M. I'm going to say it again, okay? Just because the guy who was hitting 175 and was 4 for 40 in SEC games up until this last weekend was the most important hitter in the Arkansas lineup. And he was. That's even with Jace Borfin leading the team in base hits over the weekend and in RBIs. It's even with Caleb Cali reaching base in, I think it was 11 of 15 plate appearances. Because this team, if you're going to play small ball, you got to have guys that can, play small ball. And you got to have guys who can bunt. And you got to have guys who can bunt for singles and bunt for sacrifices. And every once in a while drive in a run just by making contact. And Bolton was in the middle of all of that this last weekend. Forget about the numbers. Just the fact that Bolton had 3 sacrifice bunts, and that represents exactly 1/3 of this team's sacrifice bunt total for the year, and they scored a run off each of his sacrifice bunts. It's the most dull thing in the world to talk about, the idea of a sacrifice. But that's why Arkansas won these games over the last weekend. They pitched well enough, made the plays in the field when they needed to, had just enough power, but they won because they kept Texas A&M's fielders on skates. Because Bolton bunted enough, Parker Rowland got down a squeeze bunt, and there were other guys that were able to drive runners in that were put in that position to drive a guy in because of Bolton's bunting. And, yes, there was a bases-loaded single that he collected driving in a run to start the series against the Aggies. And then he had another bases-loaded single driving in 2 runs to help build that 8-0 lead on Saturday. He had more RBIs in this last weekend than he had in the entire previous 7 weeks.
Awesome, man. You're always pulling for your teammate, Phil, and when he does step up like that, man, good for him, man. That's awesome.
Well, I think it shows the ability to just kind of turn off, and wipe out any of that criticism and make the circle of your trust very, very small. And you're just listening to your coach, you're just listening to your teammates, and you're listening to the little man that Bubba always talks about, the little man on his shoulder that keeps talking to him and talking to him. You got to block out the negative aspect because there's two men on your shoulder. There's the devil and the angel. Tell the devil, hey,
negative,
guy,
positive, yeah,
go kick rocks, guy. I'm going to listen to this guy over here. And because of the way that the lineup is constructed and you're down a couple of your big boppers, they have to change the mindset of how you're going to score some runs. Going to hit a couple of homers here and there. That's going to happen. But they haven't been hitting home runs at the same rate with Josenberger and Wagner injured. But that doesn't mean they have to stop scoring runs. One thing you got to do in order to do this is get leadoff batters on base. Because if you're going to sacrifice, well, you got to have outs to sacrifice. You always want to wait. You don't want to wait. You got to do it with no outs. Arkansas had 12 of 21 leadoff batters reach base in this series. They scored 8 of them. A&M had 8 of 24 leadoff batters reach base for the entire series. So the Hogs scored as many leadoff batters as A&M had reach. And that's how you get the small ball going. Yeah, you can string some hits together and all of that. Like Caleb Cali had a 2-out single, stole second base, scored on a Jace Borfin base hit. Stealing a base is a bit of small ball. But if you're going to utilize the bunt, you got to get leadoff men on base. Here's one thing this team does, Matt, better than any other team in the SEC right now, is get leadoff batters on base. The on-base percentage for the leadoff hitter in SEC games is the best in the conference at .463. So they're getting the leadoff batter on base a little better than 46% of their plate appearances against SEC teams. It's about 30 points higher than anyone else.
It puts a little pressure on them, right?
That's exactly what it does.
It's kind of they got to get a little focused up, and I like it.
Well, the next thing you know, you get a pitcher that's so worried about the base runner, and you get infielders that are moving up, and they got to try to hold a base runner. The next thing you know, you get a bad pickoff throw, and you get a free base. And then you get a guy who's worried about the runner at second base, keeps his eye off the batter, throws another wild pitch, and you get him over to third base. That's what happened with Bolton in the third game. He push bunt. It was the most beautiful bunt of the season. He leads off the third inning Saturday with a push bunt, and he placed it so perfectly that it was just a race between him and the first baseman, and he won the race easily. Next thing you know, the pitcher throws away a pickoff. Then he throws a wild pitch. And Bolton's at third base 4 pitches later, and he gets knocked in on a sacrifice fly.
Like what just happened. Head spinning like what just happened, yeah.
That's exactly right. And he comes in on a sacrifice fly. It's not the sexiest thing in the world. If chicks dig long balls, what do they think about sacrifice bunts? Well, if you win the game, they're going to dig it too. And
we play to win the game.
Makes the team a little more dangerous, truthfully.
I like it. It just they have to be aware. They have to be aware of it. So on the scouting report, you're making what you're saying now. So the next team, they're going to know when he gets up, he could be butting again.
Yeah, and the Aggies, like, that's actually a good fielding team, but they did not look comfortable or confident because of how much movement they had to do on the infield, and I think that led to some bases that were uncovered. Some throws that got through where normally they would be cut off. I mean, those Aggies fielders didn't know which way was up or if their shoes were tied or anything. And it's a heck of a lot of fun to watch. And I think, Matt, like that's a Dave Van Horn's core, is playing baseball just like that. And there used to be days where they bunted all the time. Heck, I would just take a guess. I could go back and look at, I would guess, like the 2012 season or the 2010 season, when the baseball still had those mountain-sized seams, and it just didn't fly as far. They probably had, like Arkansas now has 9 sacrifice bunts this year. There were probably some seasons that they were in the 40s because that was one of their biggest weapons. Right now it's just a weapon on a lineup that has a lot of other weapons too.
So how do you defend against that? And is it something that maybe you don't want to show it too much? Because in football, basketball, you all kind of run the same plays, and situationally you do scouting, and so you know what people like to call when it's 3rd and 7. You know when they kind of like when the scenario is going to come up for that bunt. Does Dave Van Horn, how do you kind of mix it in at the right moment? He does a good job at that.
Well, you have to do it based upon the score. Like, you're not going to be sacrificing many of your outs if you're down 5 runs or you're down 7 runs. So in a close ball game, or if you have the lead and you just want to try to get a run at a time and move away from them. But then there's also, like, I mean, there was an inning this last week, Matt, where they scored 5 runs, and it was just a series of bunts and walks, and they just let A&M make mistake after mistake after mistake, and you can do that too. And
That's how when I play ping pong, I just let you make the mistake. You just try to hit it back and let them make the mistake. Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's an instance like that 2015 team. They utilized small ball in the second game of the Stillwater series, the second game of the Stillwater Regional against Oklahoma State, by bunting and by letting Oklahoma State just make errors because they had a big, hefty pitcher who was shutting Arkansas down, but a big, hefty pitcher might have some trouble covering the third base line on bunts, and he threw a couple of balls away. And the next thing you know, they got those runs in, and Arkansas took the lead and never looked back. So I think it just makes them more dangerous because when they get Josenberger and Wagner back, they're not going to utilize the small ball as much now, but given the right situation, they can do it. And here's the beauty about a bunt, Matt. Like, the other team can know it's coming, and if it is put down properly, it's indefensible. You cannot defend a well-placed bunt. You can't defend a well-placed suicide squeeze or a safety squeeze. You got to make sure you get it down. You can't pop it up. That's the way that you defend it. But if it's put down properly, or like Bolton's push bunt, you can't defend it. So it's not a matter of surprises sometimes. And the way this team moves the opponent's fielders around is one thing that doesn't necessarily like show up in the box score very much, but you can tell when a group of fielders like A&M this last weekend just really weren't comfortable. They were on roller skates, and no baseball team wants to feel like they're on roller skates. All right, we can break and we can wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment. 877-377-6963. And, yeah, here's a text out of the 479. My dad uses big guy, so everybody is big guy. Rod reminds me that meat means easy prey. It does. Rookies are easy prey in clubhouses and locker rooms, as I've seen it up close and personal sometimes.
Do you ever use, like, another animal or something? Like, hey there, squirrel. Hey there, bird. You know.
Hey there, rat.
Hey there, shark. Yeah, yeah.
Hey there, Jag Jr. They didn't go in that direction with you.
Hey there,
they?
Bambi.
Yeah, that was Lance Allworth's nickname, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's probably one reason why you don't hear it too
Hey there,
often now.
you know, the kid, King Griffey Jr., you know, Billy the Kid, you know, hey, kid.
Or Charlie Hustle, which wasn't meant as a compliment, but then it was taken as a compliment. Hour number 2 of halftime to wrap up right after this.
I ride my bike, I roller skate, don't drive no car. Don't go too fast, but I go pretty far. For somebody who don't drive, I've been all around the world. Some people say I done all right for a girl. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo for 2 delicious days at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Friday, May 5th and Saturday, May 6th. Enjoy $1 crispy tacos all day, margarita and beer specials, and live music both Friday and Saturday. Bring the whole family Saturday for face painting, bounce arounds, cornhole, photo booth, and a taco eating contest. It's a 2-day Cinco de Mayo celebration, May 5th and 6th at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
The Toms are a goblin, and spring turkey season is one of the best times of the year. Gelco Outdoors has all the gear to help you bag that big old long beard. Box calls, pot calls, mouth calls, decoys, camo clothing, vest, chairs, blinds, locator calls, snake boots, gloves, face masks, thermocells, and bug spray. If you need it in the turkey woods, Gelco Outdoors has it for you. Best of luck to all turkey hunters this spring. Shop local. Shop Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, We offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road. Top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Rod's giving us a call out on Interstate 40. Rod, how are the roads today? It's a great day to be driving, at least where I am.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, but it's a bit congested, but, you know, it's all right. A little bit of extra traffic. I love this weather. I hate nicknames. God, I hate nicknames. I knew a family once that I didn't know any of their real names because they all call each other Stretch and Tiny, and the tiny guy, that was 6'3", and I'm like, yeah, okay. I never knew his Christian name until I was like 17. The pitching, the Aggie pitching. Boy, talk about problematic. Who was that guy that couldn't throw a broadside of a barn for 2 innings? I kept waiting for somebody to play a wild thing on him.
Yeah, they had some wildness going on there, that's for sure. I mean, what was the first game of that series? They walked, I think it was 13 batters. And, I mean, they've had 8 different starting. I think they have 9 different starting pitchers in SEC games over 7 weeks. That's amazing that they actually won 4 series in a row, having virtually no idea what their starting rotation would look like. But, yeah, I think A&M's pitching is a little bit of a mess.
How'd you like that floating strike zone? I couldn't tell where the ball was going to go.
Which one? Games 1 and 2 were just awful.
High, low, inside, outside. That one, and I listened in amazement as it was like, well, that was a strike a minute ago. And now it's high inside.
Oh no,
and
Rod!
Like,
it was ridiculous. That was the first game of the series. That was January. Was the umpire's name, and he was terrible. It was the worst strike zone I've seen all year. I think I said that on the broadcast. And I'll give you the idea of a little inconsistency on the edge of the strike zone. Sometimes it's such a difficult job. Sometimes I even wonder, how can you tell the difference between something that looked like it was a millimeter off the plate and something that was right on the corner of the plate? So I'll give you that. But he was calling a pitch that was right down the middle, a ball, and he was calling a pitch that, according to TrackMan, was 2 or 3 inches outside, a strike. They're like, dude, go sit down. We'll just use the TV monitor today.
Bubba was apoplectic. He's like, I give up. Even TrackMan couldn't figure it out.
That's how we felt. That's exactly how we felt. Yeah, I mean, but look, that's the case. That's not the case every game. Some of the strike zones feel inconsistent, but I've never seen so many pitches that were obvious strikes called balls and vice versa. And that to me, he doesn't belong as an SEC umpire, at least not with a strike zone.
We should have named old January Wild thing. I'm telling you, man, because we're going to be there till January if he doesn't straighten up, right?
That's right. I think they could have. Yeah, and then the other idea was Bubba forgot. I love it, and we brought this up on our Bases Loaded podcast that'll be available tomorrow. He couldn't. He gets the TrackMan every once in a while. Will go to sleep, and then you've got to type the password in. And watching Bubba Carpenter type in the password with his giant meaty pointer fingers, one step at a time, and you'll notice like he's silent when he's typing in that password because he's got to focus on it. I had to make fun of him at that moment too, because it's okay to do. I did the 3 games in Georgia without TrackMan, and tomorrow at Dickey Stevens, and then this weekend in Mississippi State, no TrackMan. Bubba's done games without TrackMan before, but once you start leaning on that crutch, it's tough to throw it away.
Maybe we already used TrackMan for official capacity, but my log is a huge log, but it's got some very small numbers you got to punch in. And I've got a stylus that I have to pull out of the little pocket on the log to punch it in. They give you a stylus with the log.
Well, we do appreciate the information that computer program gives us. My favorite aspect of it is to look at the strike zone and give an idea of whether or not the guy behind the plate needs his prescriptions refilled or adjusted, or if he just needs to go do something else. And I think a couple of the strike zones just last weekend, they just need to go do something else. Our something else is a third hour of halftime, which includes Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Calls and texts, you can do it in the next segment, 877-377-6963. Halftime will come right back.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo for 2 delicious days at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Friday, May 5th and Saturday, May 6th. Enjoy $1 crispy tacos all day. Margarita and beer specials and live music both Friday and Saturday. Bring the whole family Saturday for face painting, bounce arounds, cornhole, photo booth, and a taco eating contest. It's a 2-day Cinco de Mayo celebration, May 5th and 6th at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, some really nice weather to enjoy. We're gently going to warm the temperatures up over the next couple of days. Sunny skies are high in the mid to upper 60s this afternoon. Tonight, mainly clear. An overnight low near 40 north, upper 40 south. And temperatures in the upper 60s north on Tuesday, mid 70s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Into the third hour of halftime. It's a glorious Monday in Arkansas.
Fun first 2 hours.
Yeah, moved right along nice and quickly, huh?
Great music as always, Maddie T. Yeah, I'm having a good day today.
Had some fun. Now, it's not nicknames, because Rod on 40 called up, said he hates nicknames. He gave the example of family members that just refer to all their family members as the nickname. But I'm not talking about nicknames. I'm talking about that one term that person at work just calls everybody. There's some. I know someone who calls everybody Bup. Maddie knows the same person. Every single person in the world, when he meets them, he'll refer to him as Bup, and he'll call him that.
Even by text message.
That's exactly right. I don't get the text message aspect of it, because it's supposed to be like a mental block or something. I had a guy that always called me Chief when I worked for the Pirates as an intern. Dude, like you said, is another one, Matt. These aren't nicknames. These are because you can't remember someone's name. Either that, or you just don't care to remember somebody's name, and you just always go to, well, the word that just is at the front of your mind. Mine is man. I probably just say hey, and because I forget people's names.
Bro, brother.
I'm not very good about remembering
brother.
names.
Hulk Hogan, brother.
That's right,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Unless we're really brothers, let's kind of shorten up on that, right?
He's like, I'm not your brah.
But at least like calling somebody man or buddy or dude is better than just the royal you. We can't go in that direction. If you refer to somebody as, hey, you're always going to, they got something against me, or I did something wrong, or it's not that they want money from me. Bup, when someone would refer to me as Bup, it would make me feel like they want money from me.
Hey, Daddy-O.
Hey, speaking, and I've got to watch that Michael J. Fox segment.
Oh, it's not out yet.
On Sunday, CBS Sunday morning.
Because they got that documentary coming out on Apple TV.
I didn't realize Michael J. Fox is 61 years old. I thought he would always be Marty McFly.
Be 19 years old, yeah.
What was the
He
word?
is always Marty McFly, man. He's Marty McFly. That look still resonates today, man. That red T-shirt with those jeans and your shoes right there, those Nike shoes. Man, it's a dope look.
I should think of it. He's had that disease because he was diagnosed with
Back
early onset Parkinson's.
Was it
age
Spin
29
years ago?
Spin City?
Oh,
it's been like 20 years.
It's been over 30 years.
years. Gosh,
over 30 years. Over more than half his life.
It looks so painful just existing.
No kidding. Yeah, and he said, basically when it comes to that disease, the thing you worry about is falls. He's fallen so many times, he's broken both arms.
So yesterday on that CBS thing, they show him he's just like basically trying to walk in front of his hotel and plasters on the ground, and a lady, is like, wants to help him. He's like, no, I'm fine. And he says to her, he's like, you knocked me off my feet, very charming and funny. But even
Marty's mental block in the movie was that everything was heavy.
Yep.
There's something wrong with the gravity.
Something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull in the future. That's right. Let's see some of these texts coming in here. Kelly's grandfather never called anybody by their first name. Oh, I can't even say half of these names. Happy Pants, Big John, Whistle Pants,
Slick Rick,
something Handle. Kelly, I would have liked to meet your grandfather because I would have liked to be called Whistle Pants.
How do you get that nickname?
Hey there, Fuzzy Britches.
Something tells me that means that there might be a constant whistle emanating out of your pants. I don't know.
It up and disappeared like a fart in the wind.
That's exactly right. Yeah, Kelly also said his grandfather had a nickname for everybody else. It was Fart Handle. So I guess that goes with Whistle Pants. Matt had a district manager of a customer he deals with. Everybody is baby. Now I actually don't mind. That's a southern female thing. Darling, sugar, baby. I'm all right with that, right?
Mama.
It's better than being called chief.
Is Toots too far?
I've never been called Toots. Never been called Toots before. That feels more old-fashioned. I don't know if anybody goes by Toots any longer. It's like calling a lady dame.
Hey there, Sugarloaf.
Clay and Rogers hates when everybody calls someone else boss. That's right. That's like chief. That's like when Cam Bonifay called me chief. It's the whole reverse thing because I'm not the boss. He was the chief of the team, and he was fired the next year because they were never very good. 479 text, yeah, he's got a habit of calling everybody boss. So these are one text after the other. One from the 479, the other Clay from Rogers. One calls everybody boss. Clay from Rogers gets driven crazy when someone is called boss. So we got to...
If you're not the boss. Yeah, it's just like if you're not the brother, it's kind of got to tighten that up a little bit.
I hope that these two people never come across each other because they almost came across on our text line here. There's Hoss. Someone does like Tootsie.
Big Hoss.
And Whistle Britches.
Hey there, Big Hoss. Yeah.
Brent from Stuttgart's on here. Hey, Whistle Britches. What's up, Brent? How are you?
I'm good. How about you guys? How about you?
Doing
Matt
great.
And Phil?
Thank
I'm
you.
great.
Hey.
Hey, I had a coach that my dad coached with for years. He called me Big Shooter.
You have a green light? Could you shoot?
Yeah.
Could you shoot the three? Yeah.
Heck no, but I sure can talk sports. I can't shoot it. I can't throw it. I can't do anything exceptionally well, but talk sports. Phil, how about the Razorback baseball team this weekend?
I know. How about it? You can't beat them at home. You cannot beat them at Baum Walker. 28-3 at Baum Walker. 11-1 in SEC games at Baum Walker. We have shades of 2018, Brent.
That was outstanding. Hey, Phil, you know who's been I was so happy for Zach Morris Saturday. That was his best outing of the year, I think. I really do.
That certainly was one of them, yeah. And you got to throw away the idea that he gave up 3 runs because it was someone else that inherited the run. I mean, they're still on his record, but the fact that he got through his first inning scoreless, I think was a huge step forward for Zach. And I can't wait to see what happens with him this weekend because I think he's going to get the ball in a fairly important spot at some point in Starkville.
You know who has been an important part of this team the last 3 weeks, and he keeps coming on and he can just hit, is Ben McLaughlin.
Yeah, I like McLaughlin a lot. I like him a lot. Nice, easy swing. Doesn't get fooled much. Line drive. Hey, that home run he hit that ball, I think it was 109 miles an hour, and he hit it so low and fast that the ball cleared the fence before the right fielder could even get there. So I think he's an impressive hitter. And he was the last option to pitch in relief Saturday. While Coyle closed that game in the 9th, McLaughlin was the next guy out. So you might have somebody that's going to hit in the middle of the order for you and maybe even close a game late.
And I had a question for you. Because I was listening, it said that this weekend that the pitcher from Ledbetter wasn't on the roster. Does that change weekend to weekend a lot?
No, I think Austin's been on the roster for most of the season, truthfully. So that tells me that he might not have been feeling his best. That's, I don't have any answers for you. But if he's not on the actual lineup card, which he was on the lineup card Tuesday and pitched a little bit, and then he wasn't on the lineup card for the A&M series. So then maybe there's something that's not quite right with him. That's what I mean. Like, part of the thing about Arkansas's pitching now is they are down to the the very last guys.
So we're down.
I'm talking about guys that are healthy, that can actually just go out and pitch and throw without dealing with pain.
And do we know anything about Dylan Carter before I let you go?
No, Brent. I don't think there's been any. There's nothing that's clear yet. I think that they know that the news was a little better than they expected, but there was still another round of tests to go through. So there was really nothing to announce last week about him. I think early this week, today or tomorrow, they'll have a much better idea about Dylan Carter. Brent, good to hear from you. Thank you very much. We got Patrick, who's with us now near Mountainburg. Hey, Patrick, what's going on?
Hey, man, I want to keep it on baseball if I can.
Shoot.
Do you think if we win 1 in Starkville, get 2 from Carolina, we've always had their number here. I've seen some mighty good Gamecock teams come in here, and we took care of them. And then take 1 in Vanderbilt, would that put us in the top 8?
Oh, yeah, you're already in the top 8. So, yeah, you win your home series, win the home series. The Mississippi State thing is something that I don't think is going to ruin the RPI or anything like that, but I think they're in a great position right now. Win 1 more series, and I feel like you might have it clinched. So, and the idea, look, this team, with as well as they're playing at home, again, it's shades of 2018. That 2018 team, though, never won a road series, not one. This team already has won a road series and won 2 out of 3 in a neutral site. So they've shown they can win. With fans mixed up, they can win on an opponent's home field at least once, but they're unbeatable right now at Boehm Walker. And the way things are going now, they might not have to leave Fayetteville in the postseason.
Oh, that'd be great.
Really would.
That's all I got. I appreciate it.
Okay, Patrick, thank you very much. Guys, let's break, and we're going to get back into football. The draft, college football off-season. Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joins us after this.
They're asking me, this is the wildest party that they ever could be. Well, don't turn on the light, cause I don't want to see. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come. Mama said it ain't no way to have fun. Open up the window, let some air into this room. I think I'm almost choking on the smell of stale perfume. That cigarette y'all smoking about to scare me half to death. Open up the window, let me catch my breath.
Need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hall on the Hit That Line podcast network.
Some judges pretty much don't let the parents even introduce their own evidence. It's just about questioning the witness of the department because the only thing they're looking for is whether probable cause existed to sign that emergency order. Parents feel so deflated after these hearings usually, and it's really hard to explain that this is just the nature of the hearing. It's not the full hearing on the merits.
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
That's 782-8940. That's the only number you need to know for all of your heating and air, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs. That's 782-8940, the only number you need to know.
It's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. To have a red truck rolling your way today,
For great American-made York products, give us a call at 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
As basketball season gives way to baseball, the chill of winter is giving way to the warmth of spring. Now is the perfect time to get your AC system ready for the warmer weather with Pascal. A Pascal Pro tune-up ensures your system is clean and ready to help you stay cool this summer and avoid costly repairs or breakdowns. Right now, beat the summer heat and save $30 off your tune-up. Professional people, professional service, Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Schedule today at GoPascal.com.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Mama's got a squeeze, but she wears on her chest. But when Daddy comes home, he never gets no rest. 'Cause she's playing all night, and the music's alright. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy never sleeps at night.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
There's no escape from the music in the whole damn street.
Saturday Down South national columnist Conor O'Gara giving us time on Mondays. Always appreciate that. Conor, we played earlier in the show the series of attempts that the Washington Commanders had trying to get a hold of Ricky Stromberg to tell him he's the third-round pick. And once Ron Rivera did get a hold of him, he referred to him as Kiddo. We were kicking around whether or not Coach Rivera calls everybody Kiddo. Because you know how some people are. They just get into a rut. They forget someone's name and just always call whomever Kiddo, Chief, Boss, Hoss, that kind of thing. Do you have any names that you always refer to people for, or is there one that sticks in the back of your mind as one you can't stand?
It's a good question, because all of them are pretty condescending, right? I mean, I feel like if I do it, I usually call someone Guy, and I'm saying it somewhat sarcastically, like, all right, take it easy, guy. But I don't think I have one in the holster ready to go if I forget someone's name. Should we look into that and think that Ricky Stromberg is not going to be the starting center now with Washington because of his head coach doesn't even know his name? Probably not very high on the depth chart yet.
I think he had just watched Kill Bill and was thinking of Beatrice Kiddo, so I think it's a good omen.
Okay, all right. You know what? That's the beauty of the draft. Whatever you want to spin it into, you kind of can with the way this all sets up. Kiddo's a good thing.
So what were the numbers as far as number of players selected out of the SEC in this year's draft? Because I know for years, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time that the SEC has had the most players drafted. But the Big Ten kind of caught up a little bit this year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was like 62 to 55. I can't remember the final total, but I was tracking it throughout because, I mean, the Big Ten was within arm's reach for a minute there and kind of finished right there in that spot. Like, that's going to be the norm moving forward, especially as both these conferences rather, expand to 16 teams starting next year. Like, that's not going to change anytime soon. I've been trying to think about it for a while when the SEC is actually going to lose that draft title, which I think is 18 years now or something, 17? I can't remember. It's up there, though. But it feels like we're at a place where no matter what, you can pencil in the SEC for just having guys late in the draft that teams are going to default to. And, I think it's interesting looking at some of the way too early mocks, which I'm a sicko, so I did that. And I'm trying to figure out, all right, who are these guys next year that are going to be coming off the board early? And a lot of them really aren't giving love to the SEC. Like, I saw one that only had 4 SEC picks in the first round, which would just be shocking to see that few SEC players come off the board. But I just kind of tell myself, this is going to get itself figured out, and the SEC will probably end up having 9 or 10 guys come off early on night one.
Connor, I thought the Eagles might have had the best draft. I don't know who was your I mean, they were able to get the best player, I thought, in Jalen Carter, 9th overall, and they have a talented team. Who's a team or two you thought that had the best draft?
Yeah, I loved what the Eagles did. Just draft Georgia defensive players. What can go wrong? It's a great strategy. I mean, it worked for them last year. Jordan Davis, being able to get him, and then Nakobe Dean somehow falling to them. And I know his numbers year one weren't particularly good, but they actually feel really good about kind of where he's at. He's going to be starting this year. And then just going out and getting Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter in round 1, and then Keely Ringo later on in day 3. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see what Howie Roseman, a Florida grad, what he's doing, drafting all these Georgia guys. And for the NFC champs, it looks like a really smart strategy. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, as a Bears fan, I was kind of bummed that they didn't go after Jalen Carter. And then I kind of told myself, you know what? They don't really have the infrastructure in place where he can succeed. It's not like he's going to go to a situation like what he has in Philly where you get Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis that you're going to be playing alongside with. You know, you're going to go nose to nose with Jason Kelsey every day. I just think that's a great culture for him. But, yeah, I don't know. I look at it from that standpoint. I really like what the Texans did early on by going up and getting Will Anderson with that number 3 pick overall. You get the 2 and the 3 pick, which is just so rare in the NFL draft. You get your quarterback of the future in C.J. Stroud. You get Will Anderson, who, in my opinion, is the most can't-miss prospect of this draft class. And so I'd probably say those 2 teams, the Eagles and Texans, were the ones that I was really high on.
What did you make of Jahmyr Gibbs and where he was picked? That was the biggest surprise of the first round.
Was he 12 to Detroit? Was that where he was? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12 to Detroit. Not mocked by anybody that I saw. I mean, it was kind of like, is he going to be a first-round guy? Maybe he'll be the second running back off the board. Bijan will be first. He'll be second. Nobody saw that coming. And at the time, we're like, wait a minute, you got DeAndre Swift. You just signed David Montgomery to a 3-year contract. Like, what are you doing? And then it makes sense a little bit more 2 days later when you realize they traded DeAndre Swift, another Georgia guy, to the Eagles. And you're now in a situation where Jahmyr Gibbs can kind of plug a couple of different holes for you. Jameson Williams is suspended for the first 6 games because of the gambling thing. So you get a pass-catching back in Jahmyr Gibbs. And that's an offense that feels really good about kind of where they're at. Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator. So I was surprised. Look, I was finding myself wondering, is there that much difference between Jahmyr Gibbs and Kenny McIntosh? Kenny McIntosh star for Georgia, who didn't come off the board until the 7th round because he ran a 4.62 at the combine. Like, is there that much difference between those guys? But I think Gibbs is a stud, and I loved what he was able to do in his 1 year at Alabama.
Yeah, you got Connor. You got Raheem Rocket Sanders. There's another name. But when we're looking at some stuff about KJ Jefferson and Raheem Sanders, the Rocket, going into next year's draft, what do you think those two guys got to do? Because they're both probably going to get drafted next year, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think, and I can't remember who had Rocket in the first round of the way too early mock. Somebody had him in there. Not necessarily a surprise to see that after all the great things he did last year, exploding onto the scene. I would expect definitely Rocket's going to be a candidate to come off the board as one of the first backs. Running backs are difficult to kind of figure out. They just kind of are, and he'll still have to test really well, even if he has an awesome year. I mean, there are so many things that go into this, the scheme that you play in, playing in a little bit more of a pro-style scheme. If he gets to maybe catch some passes out of the backfield as well, a former receiver, obviously, who's got a lot of different skills, I think he could be a really intriguing prospect. And then KJ, you know, it's what we talk about all the time. Can he make that next step as a passer? Can he master the concepts that Dan Enos is going to want him to be able to operate under? And can he figure out, okay, this is what I need to do to show that I am truly a next-level guy? I think that he's projecting as more of like a mid-round guy, but at the same time, you know the size is there. You know that this is a day and age in which mobile quarterbacks are being treated differently than they were 10, 20 years ago. So I think KJ is a fascinating case, but he's got to show that passing development in this year with Dan Enos.
Whomever provided the smoke screen for the whole Will Levis first round, maybe first overall pick, but definitely top 10, like they deserve a promotion or whatever. Because, I mean, I bought it. I think a lot of people bought it. Mel Kiper kept banging the drum about Will Levis. But the more you look at his numbers and remember watching him play from this last year, and that Kentucky was just all right even when he was there, it's like I never understood the hype around him. Like, I understand he's a great athlete. He's got great size, howitzer of an arm, but he's amazingly inconsistent. There was a lot of interest. I didn't buy it, and apparently not a lot of other teams did too.
I think he went where he should have. You know, I was, for the last year, I felt like I was pro-Levis in terms of who he is as a player and why he projected well, but I was still of the belief that he's a project. You're not taking him to be a day one starter. And what I think was kind of lost in the shuffle of this process is that there is still a divide between the mock draft crowd of the world and NFL front office. And apparently, you know, it was coming out afterwards. Maybe there was an issue with the turf toe. Maybe he wasn't coming off as good as many thought he was going to in these interviews. Ultimately, though, the guy's a project. He still has room to grow from a decision-making standpoint. Their offensive line was a train wreck this past year. But can he be able to overcome some of those issues moving forward and get rid of the football quicker? Is he going to want to take on as much contact? That's what I kept saying to people over and over. Like, everybody's talking about Bryce Young and the size. Will Levis and Bryce Young took like the same amount of sacks, and Will Levis missed more time because Will Levis takes on so much more contact. So he's got a huge arm. I like the ability that he has to make plays with his legs. And the accuracy is there, but the decision-making needs to be better, and he's going to go to a place where, you know what, maybe they're going to develop him as a project with the Titans, but I am interested to kind of see what this next step looks like and if he can truly develop.
So here's a pick that I love. And it's not just because I'm a Steelers fan. Broderick Jones, he's going to be their new left tackle. He can just put him in there. He's going to be the Steelers' new starting left tackle. Because then I think Stetson Bennett is a great college quarterback, but there were some limitations physically that he had. But when you have that good of an offensive line in front of him and a guy like Jones blocking for you, and you're not in your back very much, not getting chased around as often. I know he could get away from it sometimes. But I thought that was such a fantastic pick. And I'm wearing some Steelers-colored glasses because that's my team. But I love the pick. I love where he came from. And I love the fact that he blocked for that guy.
You guys, picture this. Stetson had multiple games last year in which he comes to the post-game press conference and he says, I don't think I was touched by a defender today. can you picture KJ Jefferson showing up to a post-game press conference and ever saying, guys, I don't think I was touched today? I mean, it's just different worlds that they operate out of, and that's in part because obviously the protection's really good. How Stetson was used in Todd Monken's offense is very different. But yeah, when in doubt, just draft Georgia guys and kind of hope for the best.
Was there? I like where Devin A-Chain. I think that dude's going to be a stud. Was there a late round pick? I know he's 84th, but what was maybe a late round pick that you think that's going to have success?
Matt, you read my mind. I love me some Devin A-Chain. That dude is a stud. He is not just a speed guy. And I watched him run through contact, but for an offense that could not stretch the field whatsoever with Jimbo Fisher. And his ability to make that home run play when there isn't really that big of a window, man, like he was so fun to watch. And I'm of the belief that he's going to end up being their starter for the Dolphins at the end of his first year. Mike McDaniel, I was reading some of the quotes about how much he's just like trying to get as much speed at the skill positions as humanly possible. And you know that they can already stretch the field with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and getting a back like A-Chain that can just hit the home run. Man, I think that was a super underrated thing. I would not be surprised if he ends up being the best running back from this class, and that includes Bijan Robinson, who, look, I totally understand you have to draft Bijan as the number one running back prospect, but, man, I think A-Chain brings a lot more to the table than just speed, and I think he's somebody that, like, 2-3 years from now when we're all doing our fantasy drafts, he's going to be the guy who's like, oh, yeah, we're drafting him in, like, the second round as an RB1.
Yeah, he fits the NFL system good, Phil. I mean, the dude can catch. He can do a little bit of everything. I like his game.
Well, now we've got the end of the NFL draft coinciding with the end of the transfer portal window for the spring season. So that's closed. You can you can get commitments out of the transfer portal now, but you no longer can have players entering the transfer portal. So I guess that's the next thing for us to pay attention to, Connor. And I guess the other thing would be the athletic directors meetings for the SEC in Destin. It's usually that's coming up pretty soon, and I guess that might also be the next time we hear about potential taking away home games when fans storm the field. That'll be the next topic.
I thought you were going to go in the scheduling direction. That's what I think we're going to actually find out about. If we're going to hear about a conference scheduling model, if it's going to be 8 games or if it's going to be 9 games. Apparently, some teams that still want the 8-game conference schedule. I think ultimately we get the 9-game conference schedule. I think that'll be announced in Destin. I'd be surprised if we had any more sort of disagreements on that, if there was some sort of a stalemate. They have a timeline to get this figured out because they usually come up with the new schedule for the upcoming season, like during the season. So they're going to want to get this squared away before the season starts. Obviously, Texas and Oklahoma coming changes everything, and they're going to have to do a little bit more from a creativity standpoint, but I think they already kind of have that figured out of which team is, the permanent rival and what the rotating home and homes are going to look like. So, yeah, I would expect an announcement on that in the next few weeks here.
It feels like the 9-game thing is a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of who your quote-unquote permanent opponents would be. Connor, I subscribe to The Athletic. I think it's a great resource. They have a piece about what SEC scheduling used to look like. And I wasn't aware of how ridiculous this was because it was the coaches that basically decided who they played and when they played them. And you had Ole Miss and Alabama that went 21 years without playing each other in an 8-team league. You had situations where there were games that were played like Alabama might play North Carolina, but it counted as an SEC game. It's just if we think scheduling is weird now, I mean, goodness gracious, before the television thing happened in 1984. I mean, here's for instance. Alabama and Ole Miss actually did have a home and home. I think it was 1979 and 1980, and those games didn't even count in the league standings. It's like the SEC scheduling. If you don't think it makes sense now, it made less sense then.
Yeah, great piece from Seth Emerson that I've had bookmarked and I've been waiting to read post draft. That's on my list of reads for this week because I didn't even fully know that. I mean, I didn't grow up in the SEC footprint, which, I've talked about here before. But, yeah, for all the times in which I bring up the point how weird it is that Georgia has not played a game at Texas A&M, who's been in the conference for more than 10 years now, and they weren't scheduled to until 2024. But, for all that discussion about how these teams never play each other, it's weird to think that you could have a time in which the conference was only 8 teams, and there were teams that would just go 2 decades without playing each other. And, hopefully with this new scheduling model, we're going to get some more clarity, and we're going to get a little bit more of that schedule parity in terms of, teams actually getting to face everybody in their conference and not going 6-7 years without facing one another.
Conor, we'll leave it there. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. We'll be reading you at Saturday Down South.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thanks, Conor.
Conor O'Gara on Twitter at CJ O'Gara and at SaturdayDownSouth.com. Always has something that's very interesting to read pretty much every single day. Also, get on your Bet Saracen app when you want to put some money on today's NBA playoffs and the Major League Baseball schedule. And, of course, they've got the live play-by-play betting. You can bet on pitch-by-pitch at Bet Saracen. It works on your Apple iPhone. It works on your Google Android and any web browser at BetSaracen.com. Plus, very special bets and prop bets involving Arkansas athletes and current Arkansas teams, only at the Bet Saracen app. Meanwhile, we've got an open segment. If you want to get on with us, 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has every...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your #1 source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil
Automotive, and it's spring tune-up time at the shop. Drop by and let us check your oil and fluids, your filters, hoses, and belts. We'll check everything your vehicle needs to run lean, mean, and green this spring. We also do front-end work and alignments. We're AC specialists, WW Automotive, located just off of Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. Or you can call me or Kelly at 242-1600. That's WW Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The city streets are empty now. The lights don't shine no more. And so the songs are way down low. Turn it, turn it. A sound that flows into my mind. The echoes of the daylight. Of everything that is alive. All the world. I turn a stone when you are gone. I turn a stone. Turn a stone when you're coming home. I can't go on.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Get out ball. Dominic Fletcher, welcome to the big leagues. It gets all the way to the wall. And Fletcher has a double, his first major league hit.
That's awesome. Former Razorback Dominic Fletcher got his call to the big leagues. Arizona D-backs. That's his first major league hit. It is a double. And he's not just coming up to play for a last-place team. D-backs are tied for first in the West Division. So we got another major leaguer, another pro hog who has made it to the big leagues. Let's see. Fletcher last played here in 2019. So 3 years to make it to the big leagues. That's pretty good.
That's a fast track right there. Yeah, good for him. I remember him playing for the Hogs. Yeah, man, he's got a sweet swing.
Oh, he's powerful. And he's like one of those little. He is. Let's see. They've got him listed on Baseball Reference at 5'6".
Oh, he's like your Jose Altuve, right?
Well, he's more barrel chested than Altuve. That's the thing about Fletch. I think he's taller than 5'6" because I'm 5'9" and
like he looks like he'd be an NFL cornerback. Is that what you mean? Like with that?
Yeah, I don't think he's 5'6" because I'm not 3.5 inches taller than Dominic. He might be around my height, but he's got the Popeye forearms. He's got the barrel chest.
But with the spikes on, he's 5'6".
That's right.
Yeah.
And the afro, he'd be more like 6'3".
Yeah.
But that's great. I mean, his brother's already been up in the big leagues, David Fletcher. He's kind of fallen off the last year or so. So you get two Fletchers in the majors at the same time. They're both out west, one in the American League, the other in the National League, but maybe they could end up playing against each other sometime soon. You know, the reason Dominic even came to Arkansas was because David Fletcher played for Loyola Marymount in a series at Baum Walker, and Dom was watching that, and he kind of fell in love with the idea of Arkansas. That's how a guy from California ends up playing for the Razorbacks, because he kind of saw what it was like. His brother saw what it was like too, and Fletcher's going to stick. Like, he should stick because he doesn't have that many holes in his swing. He's a great, not good, he's a great outfield. He can play all three outfield positions, so that makes him valuable. If Torey Lavola wants just to make a defensive change late in a game, he's a left-handed bat. I think Fletcher could stick.
Good for him, man. I like watching. I'm always pulling for former Hogs, and we had. I know Malik went to Kentucky. He was an Arkansan. But anybody from Arkansas and or played at the university, man, you're always pulling for them when they go up to the big leagues. And Steph Curry was too much, dropping a 50-piece on their head.
Mhm.
And that Mike Brown defense, man, Steph, man, he gets going. And it's kind of like, and you brought this up, Phil, when we were talking about both LeBron and Steph going for 30. It was like they kind of were waiting until game 7. You know, it's like almost he's just resting up. You know, as you get older, tired, like, man, you think
You got to
about
pick your spots when you get older, right?
That's what I was saying. This Warriors-Lakers series, I think it's going to be it's going to be a game of blowouts, I think. I don't think it's going to be close where it's like you're going to have double overtime. I think they'll be picking their spots, and they're resting up. They take one L, then they'll be worried about the next. So I don't know how it's going to be fun to watch, but, you know, game 5, game 6, game 7, you might have it that way.
Well, I wasn't watching yesterday, but apparently Steph's game was the stuff of legends. 50 in a clincher, and
oh, Duke, and I love some Andrew Wiggins. I'm telling you, Andrew Wiggins is the best third option in the NBA. You got Klay Thompson there, and I've you know, Poole's okay, but Andrew he plays both ends of the floor. He can play defense. He's smart. He's long, and he always looks like he's just a walk in the park, man. If you watch his game, he looks like he's just cruising in the park. You know, he's got that Canadian love.
Sixers and Celtics, game 1 of the East semifinals tonight, 6:30 TNT, 9 o'clock. The Suns and the Nuggets in the second game of the West semifinals.
See, I had Phoenix, Phil. I thought Phoenix would get past it. Now it's only one game, but that's the series that I'm most interested in for the Western. I mean, that one's going to be a fun one.
Well, I don't know how much I'll be watching of it. I may have to watch.
I'll check it out for you, though. You know, I'll have a report.
Hey, did you see this report coming? And I saw this morning. This was from Texarkana on the Texas side, that there was a college baseball game between Texas A&M, Texarkana, and I can't see the name of the other school, Houston Victoria. So I'm not sure what league this is, but a pitcher for the A&M Texarkana team was near the bullpen when he was struck by a stray bullet.
Oh, my goodness.
Hit in the chest by a bullet from a shot that was fired in a situation between two gentlemen that were, I shouldn't use the term gentlemen, they were shooting at each other in the front yards, and the bullet hit this pitcher who's 18 years old in his chest. And he's okay. He's recovering in the hospital. But my gosh, I mean, I've been in a lot of baseball games, and I've never seen anything like that before. And
that's scary.
That's just truly scary. We're in this position here where you're getting some of the craziest, most ridiculous shootings that I've heard of ever. And this one, as far as an athletic event goes, takes the cake. So his name is Matthew Delaney, and I hope he's going to be okay. Apparently he is going to be all right because he's recovering right now in the hospital. And I mean, this hits close to home because this is right outside our state on one of the border towns. So good luck to Matthew Delaney. Heal up, and I hope the next time you're at a baseball field, this isn't something that's stuck in the back of your mind. So that was terrible news. Anyway, I did want to make sure that I mentioned that. So let's step aside. We can wrap halftime up in just a moment. Might have room for a call or a text. 877-377-6963. We'll come right back.
There is nothing like football game days on the Hill. Coach Sam Pittman and the Hogs take Frank Broyles Field at Razorback Stadium for the 2023 football season this September.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call the Hogs with your entire family and secure season tickets today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com or over the phone at 800-982-HOGS.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Has your wife started talking about having a hot girl summer? Does she keep adding hashtag YOLO to her social media posts? Is she spending more time with her new trainer than with you? It might be time to discuss what a divorce would mean for you and your family. Mock Legal Solutions is here to help. We offer flat fees and payment plans. Don't let hot girl summer sneak up on you. Call us today for a free consultation. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
What's up, JD? I love what you do with cars. 7 straight years of the best detail here in the River Valley.
Thanks, Matt. You should come check out our Cars and Coffee. Every first Saturday of the month at JD's River Valley Restoration, we're going to do a Cars and Coffee. 5606 Towson. Come check out Queen Bean's Espresso on the lot.
What separates you from all the other detail companies in the River Valley?
Quality and consistency is what keeps bringing our customers back. But most importantly, it's the customer service that matters the most to us.
My ride looks brand new.
JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody's gonna hurt someone before the night is through. Somebody's gonna come undone. There's nothing we can do. Everybody wants to touch somebody. If it takes all night. Everybody wants to take a little chance and make it come out right. There's gonna be a heartache tonight, a heartache tonight, I know. There's gonna be a heartache tonight, a heartache tonight, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A couple of callers on hold. Let's take the calls before we end halftime today. Cody's up first. Good afternoon, Cody. What's new?
Hey, not a whole lot. How you guys been?
Good. Been a while.
Yeah, man. Been busy. Hey, Razorbacks baseball team looked pretty dang good this weekend.
Yes, they did. It was fun.
It was
Had
good.
A&M on skates.
Yeah, it was good to see Tigard out there, too. But, hey, I was listening to the calls or the shows the last week. I always thought Musselman had more success when he had a more veteran-laden team. and I know that he's always lived off the portal. So I think his approach is he's just going to put the best team together year to year. And with his G League experience, sometimes I wonder if that's just more of a comfortable habitat for him as a coach. Because G League, Matt, I don't know how often people in the G League and the NBA are funneling in and out, but I would imagine it's quite a bit. So I'm wondering if that's more comfortable for him.
I think he's
just
a
living
good
through the portal like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point because I think that those are that type of player, and I think he's a great evaluator of that level of talent. I think you're right.
Yeah, completely on that. But, yeah, I'm completely comfortable with it. Now, it stinks to see an Arkansas guy go because, like, to everybody else's point, growing up, we do want to be Razorbacks, and then to finally be a Razorback and have that situation occur. I mean, that's the beast, though. That's the nature of the game nowadays. So it's win and win right now, and you have that ability. So I think he's just doing his best job and putting the best team on the floor. But I appreciate y'all's time.
Hey, Cody, appreciate you. Good to hear from you again.
Yeah, Phil, I think Coach Muss does a great job of that level of talent of getting the right guys because he doesn't miss on a lot of those portal guys. You know, when he brings them in, man, they can go.
Oh, he's got a really good. I'd be interested actually going back and looking at his, quote unquote hit rate, like
right?
A batting average,
yeah,
because it has been pretty darn good. There's been a couple of guys, but it's been pretty darn good. Dawn in Fort Smith, you're last on the phone today. Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. I just wanted to chime in on y'all talking about Dominique Fletcher. He is 5'9", and it's 175. So yeah, he's not 5'6".
Yeah, the baseball
he does
reference
have
page. I don't know who measured him on the baseball reference page.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, everybody makes a mistake, but he does have sticking power. I think he does. He had success at AAA, which is as we all know, just a step under the big boys. He had very good success, so I believe he's got sticking power if he can find a way into that starting lineup.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
he's
just want to let you know, guys, he is 5'9".
Yeah, I was pretty sure of that. Like I thought I saw that on the old Razorback roster that he was 5'9", because he ain't 5'6", because I definitely did not tower over him. That was for sure.
Do you be Honey Bunny? You have to be under a certain for your nickname to be Honey Bunny. Have to be at least 5'10", right?
Yeah, well, you got to worry about a specific couple of words on a.
What we got to be? What is Fonzie?
At the same time. Yeah. Here's some interesting news, and this will come in very late on the show today. That Mississippi State has made a change on their pitching coach. They have fired Scott Foxhall. This just before Arkansas travels out to Mississippi State this weekend. They have the worst ERA in the SEC, and they rank 206th in Division I baseball. So he was their coach. I'm pretty sure he was their pitching coach when they won the Natty. So I think the writing is beginning to be on the wall for Chris Lemonis, the current head coach there.
Yeah, it's interesting when it happens in season like that. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys pitch. They probably come together. I bet they come together and pitch good. You know, you see how kids bounce back when a sudden change like that happens. So be interesting. Phil, that was cool getting to listen to you and Bubba call the game on Saturday. That was fun, man. It's a fun show today.
Hey, we had a great time today. That was a lot of fun. And then tomorrow I'll be over at Dickey Stevens Park, which is just like going back home in a sense. So I'm looking forward to that too. Great stuff today, Matt Jones. Matty T, of course, as always. Appreciate the music, which was spot on today. And to our callers and our texters, guys and dolls, that was good stuff. Appreciate everybody listening in. Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach, and make sure you download the latest Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast. For Matt and Matt, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.